Oh, hello, you beautiful nerds. Welcome to the Drunk Banthas podcast, where we talk about sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and all the popular art that we love. Also, we do it drunk.
Mostly drunk, mostly. Not too much, not too little.
Always encouraged, but never mandatory. I am Jedi Master Grayson, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host and brother Bill. How you doing?
That's me. And we're real brothers. And I'm doing good.
It's not a black thing.
Nah, yeah. This ain't my brother. It's my brother. He's not my brother. It's my brother. Brother. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. So excited.
That's my daddy's son. Yeah. And my mama's son, too.
That's my mama's child.
My mama raised him.
Happy late Mother's Day to everybody out there watching. Guys, we have a great show for you guys tonight. So excited. We are talking comic books.
If you're the side mama, like if you're the side chick and you got a mama and you're a mama, do you celebrate today or do you celebrate on Mama's Day?
Celebrate other Mother's Day.
Let me know out there in the comments. I just thoughts that I have. I'm curious.
Yeah, maybe you can celebrate on Saturday. You miss all the Mother's Day rush, and you get to have a nice, calm, relaxing meal where you don't have to fight for reservations. It's
relaxing meal.
It's low key the better.
We're
more stress free.
It's gonna be one of those days.
It's gonna be one of those days. But you know what? It's always a fun time here because you know what? We're talking comic books. We're talking Andor season 2 finale, and we're talking Last of Us season 2. We're talking the Peacemaker trailer, and as always, we're talking shit. Excited to talk about the Peacemaker trailer because I have not watched it. As you guys know, I don't watch trailers, but I love that first season so much, and I'm excited to hear where the conversation is going to go because with this whole DCU that James Gunn is curating, obviously Superman is going to be the first installment in that whole universe, but Peacemaker, this is the only thing that's carrying over from the last DCEU, whatever they called it.
Probably I don't know what they used to call it because I hated it. But probably gonna be a lot of drops that we get from this season 2 that'll be added to our drops all over here. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's gonna get added for sure. Because it's a hilarious show.
Yeah, it's a great
somebody gonna
show.
say something really fucked up that we really like, and we're gonna put it in. It's gonna make it. I just have a feeling it's gonna make it.
I have a feeling. And you guys, we're talking all this crazy comic book nerdy shit. It's always better to talk about it with friends.
Oh,
he's basically family, but y'all just hate him because he's light skinned. Jesse, welcome back to the show, bro.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I did not hear him.
Cool.
All
around, it looks like
on this show are not unusual.
Yeah, it's very common.
And I don't know if Jeff is coming back around the corner.
Yes,
Jeff is coming back around the corner.
In Jesse's world.
Jesse's world. It's Jesse's world.
It's frozen in time.
How can I get an internet like that? See, my internet sucks. I'm glad somebody else's internet be messing up sometimes. Hey, Jeff, I see your face and I see it moving. Can I hear you? Can I hear you now? Damn.
That's a no.
That was a no. He said he's going to come back. I can read lips. He said, well, damn it. I'll be right back.
But this is a good time to get some house cleaning out of the way. We got a new episode of Does It Hold Up coming out Wednesday. Obviously, we had the episode of Punisher that came out last week, and also Spaceballs, a special Star Wars Does It Hold Up episode.
Spaceballs.
And this Wednesday, we're going to be talking about
Spaceballs Jr.
If Looks Could Kill. Is basically a James Bond Jr. live action movie. Much forgotten, but not it's still much beloved. Like, so we're
much forgotten, been forgotten. So forgotten so much you didn't even watch it the first time we put it out.
I think on the episode, I'm the only one who was like, yeah, I definitely remember vividly watching this movie as a kid. But yeah, guys, check it out. Check out the episode on Wednesday. Let us know what you think of if looks could kill. Oh man, we might have Jesse back in the building. Let's see what's going on.
Oh shit. Okay, the audio still can't hear you for some reason.
But you're smoother. The video is much smoother.
But look, we can see exactly how angry you are in real time too.
We can totally tell. So that's good enough, I guess. Are you gonna mime Jeff's Comic Book Corner this week?
Just tap that thing. I don't know. Does that work? He said, I fucking did. He said, fucking tapping the shit out of this thing. He's going to throw it. That's what I heard it in his brain. Fuck this shit. Oh, Jesus Christ, fuck this shit. I know that shit.
I think what he just said, I can't read lips really great, but I think what he was saying is that you guys need to make sure to tune into the Bantha Bunch every Thursday at 7:15 Pacific time. Bill, do you know what you guys are going to be talking about this Thursday?
We're going to be talking about. Actually, I do know what we're going to be talking about. Unfortunately, the Bantha Bunch crowd has pressured me into watching The Studio.
Oh, really? So you're diving into the Seth Rogen world?
Yeah, but I'm covering. What's it called?
Government cheese.
There you go. Government cheese, not government cheese. It's government cheese.
Government cheese.
I'm trying to work on a special guest to get on the show for the last episode, but we're not on the last episode yet.
Okay.
Trying to get the homie. You know the homie. Trying to get him to come over.
Right on.
Apparently, he was supposed to be in an episode.
Right.
So I'm going to talk to somebody who was almost in the show, but ain't in the show.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't on
the show. Episode. I mean, past doesn't hold up guests.
Ooh, you can sift through the minefield of bullshit.
And see exactly. Yeah,
see what's going on. Yeah. Ophelia said, what up, my Banthas? Last 3 episodes of Andor were peak cinema. Andor and generational. Excuse me, I can't read it on there. And a generational run for Star Wars this season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Yeah, honestly, cannot wait till we get into the Star Wars
discussion. I don't know what's wrong. Do you have a Mac or do you have a
He says a PC.
He has a PC. Yeah, look, we're really good at reading lips, sir.
Yeah, sorry, that did not mean I could hear you.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's like, what? Motherfucker.
Oh man, oh dear. Well, that stinks.
Well, I was gonna ask him I was gonna ask all the annoying questions that people ask you when you're trying to fix something.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Have you tried turning it up? Have you tried turning up your volume?
Is your mic on?
Is your mic on?
I don't know why it has to be a British accent.
Pompous.
Yeah.
Pompous asshole.
Just has an air of superiority. Yeah.
Have you tried turning on the lights? Whenever I hit the light switch, it comes back on right way.
All right. 15th time's the charm. Let's see what Jesse is dealing with.
Jesse, can you hear yourself? Okay. That makes... Okay, hold on.
No sounds. Sounds like
weird.
Looks like you're rapping like some mean bars right now.
It's weird. It's weird that it's not working. Yeah, I just threw you up here. What's up, 9?
That's right. We
feel violated a little bit.
Well, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't. Honestly, okay.
Yeah, for a second there, I was like, is he silent too?
I just wanted to make sure we're not the only one. I mean, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Y'all know
It's
what
like John Lennon said, we're not the only one.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
But just to get some housekeeping out of the way while Jeff's figuring out his technical difficulties.
Hold on. Before you do that. Well, I can't help him with his PC. Because I'm not a PC person.
Right.
But maybe Nine can help him. Nine's got a PC.
Possibly. Anyway, yeah. Just to get
Ophelia's Pootie Tank Flow. That shit's funny.
Just to get some house cleaning out of the way, I want to remind you guys to consider perusing through our merch store where we have hats, hoodies, shirts, mugs, and all kinds of awesome stuff with our stupid name on it. Just go to the shop in the the shop tab on our YouTube channel at Drunk Banthas, or you can go into the video description in this lovely video you're watching here. Click that link and buy some cool stuff. There's usually sales going on, so check it out. Any other plugs? Oh yeah, I do have a Return to the Jedi video coming out on NerdsatNite.
I'm hearing you, Joe.
Tomorrow.
I mean, I don't hear you, but I see you.
Yep.
What is it? There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
There we
got
go.
some sounds
What?
going.
It was just you know what? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was a stupid small thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Okay.
It's always a stupid small thing.
I'll tell you. Let me tell you something, man. What that was the most entertaining delay of game of all time. You know why I say that? Because that shit was funny. Like
that was funny.
It was. We've had so many.
You just described entertainment.
We've had so many terrible moments on this show that was like amazing.
That's pretty bad.
I mean, that's a mean thing to say about
the. Sorry, it was a mean thing to say about who that was.
The Idol.
Oh,
there's no such thing.
Totally should have totally let you finish that, then hit the pardon interruption button. Technical difficulties.
We also have a philosopher of the barbershop variety in the house. 9. What's going on, bro?
Oh, my bad. I didn't bring him in.
He sounds like, good God, but now I can't hear 9.
It's like that thing where you
can't come in until the chimes have gone off anyway.
It's like the thing where you try to unlock the door, but somebody's trying to open it.
Yeah, he's pulling, I'm pushing.
Stop! Wait for me to unlock it, and then I will open the door. What is up, 9?
Oh,
what the fuck?
Nah, I'm just fucking with you guys.
I was legit scared for a second, but I was like, nah, you fucking with me. What's up, 9? How you doing?
Doing good. I hope everyone called their mothers and everything.
I knew I meant to do something yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
What up, Fifth Bantha? And also, I don't know if I said it because we were fucking laughing, but shout out to Othelius. What up, Othelius? Read that one, Alex.
Blancito in stereo, loud and clear.
That's right.
Blancito.
Blancito Blanco.
Blanco, loud.
Toby Blanco in the house, just in time for our first segment of the night.
Toby Blanco, yes, but Blancito is my. Nope, not gonna say that. Never mind. Let's keep going. What were you saying?
No, go ahead. You want to shovel? You want to shovel for that hole you're about to
It's
dig?
his hood name. It's his hood name.
So we're going. So comic books. So pictures with the words. Got it. Okay.
That's right. We're about to take a trip down Jeff's comic book corner. Jeff, do you know what we're going to be talking about today?
Yeah, I sent you the pictures.
Are these in order? Are these in order?
They should be.
I mean, they should be, but
that one is not.
Does not look like it.
All right.
I mean, I numbered them 1 through 30, but yeah, go to the next one, second one.
Absolutely did. Hold
Nope,
on a second.
So
Yeah, for
we're talking about Geiger. It is a miniseries that came out in 2011 from Image Comics, and it's actually one of my favorite writers, comic book writers, Jeff Johns. He wrote the Green Lantern Blackest Night series. He wrote the Green Lantern Rebirth, Flash Rebirth. He's done some of the best storylines in comics, and then unfortunately was president of DC when they did the Green Lantern movie. So
yeah,
it's not always good. So, like I said, this one's called Geiger, and it's a really cool superhero-esque guy in a post-apocalyptic setting, but not a hero that we know. So this one starts out with a couple of guys out in like this wasteland, and they got a Geiger meter, and they're wearing these suits, and they're like, oh yeah, this one's reading, and they're talking. They're like, oh man, we gotta be careful out here, you know. There's the night crawlers and there's the organ people, you know. Like we gotta be careful. We can't just sleep. We gotta do it in shifts, otherwise, you know, we'll get killed. And they're like, I mean, I'm not sure if I could sleep. You know, it's kind of creepy being out here, you know. And the guy's like, why? What's out here? And he's like, oh, no, like in his territory. Not that one. There's another one of the two of them just talking back and forth with a bunch of speech bubbles. Yep, that one. There you go. So they're talking about, and they're like, oh, you mean the guy who walks without a suit? And they're like, yeah, but like that should be impossible. And he's like, no, it's as true as the air is dead out here. After the unknown war, like, people started looking around, and this guy was like lighting up the horizon like a fucking candle. And they're like, you know, and they're talking about like, who was he? And they're like, you know, he's got a bunch of John Glow, the man of mass destruction, the walking bomb. Well, they're like, the meltdown man. They're like, that name came later, man. And they get talking about him, and then that's when, go back one picture, it zooms out, and they're talking about right next to this giant crater that is pretty clearly the fallout from a nuke. From there, we jump back in time, and we see, you know, there's this, there's just the normal suburban house, TV's going. We see it's July of 2030, and they're talking about like crazy things. Like the president declared he would not fire unless like it was a, you know, unless he was fired upon. They're like, Indiana, they got some bad things going on. This guy got, you know, whatever. Her book came out, and like, while she says it's all fact, they're interviewing people with the FBI, stuff like that. And then this guy runs by, and he's like, let's go, Tracy. And he's calling to his wife. And then it cuts to outside their house, and that's exactly where we're at here. No, back to the one you're on, in Boulder City, Nevada. And we see he's bringing his family into a fallout shelter. And he's saying, like, you know, we got air filters, we got hydroponics, we got all the food you could want, canned food, we've got medicine. And she's like, but like, how long can we go down there? And he like, stay down there. And he goes like, as long as we need. And at one point his son's like, you know, I'm scared, or his daughter's like, I'm scared, Daddy. And he's like, it's going to be okay, sweetie. I'm going to take care of you. And then his son's like, Dad, over there, we left Molly out. And we pan over and go back one image. And that's where we get this image of the dog barking as we see a fucking missile going through the air. Well, this guy whose name we learned is Tariq. Tariq he's like, go inside, I'll get Molly. And he runs and he gets his dog and he starts running back and he's coming on his way back. But also there's a shot and we see his leg buckle out from underneath him. And he falls as his fucking shit neighbors are walking over. And the guy's like, sorry, sorry, neighbor, we're going to have to take your shelter. And while she's like, probably his people that started this because, you know, racism is still alive in 2030. Who would have thunk we don't solve it in 5 years? Anyway, so the neighbors are like coming up and Tariq's like, Tracy, shut the door. She's like, no, I can't leave you out there. He's like, shut the door. And like, meanwhile, his dog's barking at these ones, and his son's like, Daddy, no, you can't. He's like, dude, you gotta shut it. And it literally shuts the door on the kid screaming out to his dad. And the neighbors are like, she's like, they closed it, and his dog won't shut up. And then she shoots his fucking dog because she's a bitch. And that was the end of the sentence. Yeah. Anyway, so from there, the guy's like, you need to tell him to open the door. And he's like, nope. And he's like, if you don't, you're going to die. Which, by the way, I need to point out, not the argument you think it is when you see missiles flying through the air. He clearly already knows. And anyway, he just goes, I'll do anything to protect my family. And the guy's like, okay, as he, loads his shotgun. And then I got to say this. I don't like to do full pages for these, but these next 2 pages are just so fucking good that I had to. So as we see this light behind them on our next page, we see Tariq with the mushroom cloud in his eyes, and it's just this giant epic thing of light and dust and all this shit. And Othelius, that is exactly what I thought, and I think this book might have been written by an oracle, because this came out in 2011, not when the protests were happening. Is that 2019? God, the last 6 years have been trash. Anyway, so then the next page, we get this image of, we see like literal pieces being blown off his neighbors. We see them go flying. And we see Tariq put his hands up, and literally you watch the flesh get torn from his bones, and then it just goes black. And then on the next page, it just says 20 years later. And we see a bunch of guys, scavengers, just, walking around trying to find shit. And they're like, we shouldn't be in Boulder. And the guy's like, I know, but the resources are running out. And he's like, but there's a reason no one comes here. Like, it's not safe here. And they're like, will you shut up? No one believes in Joe Glow, The stories about a monster are completely made up. And they're like, it was just to keep people out. But like, let's hope there's something. And they're looking around. They're like, wait, what's this? And they find like this little like storm drain. They're like, oh, sweet. And it's like, oh, but it's empty. And then the new guy's like, hey, I found something. And the fact that they didn't see this one when they were looking in the storm drain, I don't think they got the best peripheral vision, because it is a fucking wall around this bunker that we find out is made of crushed cubed carbs. So anyway, these guys, being stupid, are like, let's go inside. So they're trying to like get the door open with their crowbar, and all of a sudden this guy goes, gentlemen, you're trespassing. And he's standing up there, and they're like, what the fuck? He's standing without a suit. How's he doing that? And the guy just goes, I've had garbage. Anyway, and the guy goes, I've had garbage collectors like you out of my property now and again, but they don't make it past my property line. The ones who do end up buried under the land. And he's like, that's how I got all these cars, the ones that used to build the wall. And these guys are either a whole lot of brave or a whole lot of stupid, because they're like, well, it can't be the glowing man. He ain't 12 feet tall. So let's shoot at him. And they start shooting, and he just jumps, and he goes flying, and he lands in the middle of them. And they're like, if you wanted to keep us out, you should have put up a sign. And he's like, a sign? What would the sign say? And while he's saying that, he's beating the fuck out of these guys. They're shooting at him. He's kicking. He's punching. He's literally just like grabbing their arms and snapping the fucking bone like it's nothing. And he goes, yeah, sure, I'll make a sign. And he reaches up and he grabs those 2 weird rods on his back, and he goes, I'll put up a sign in neon, and no trespassing. And after he grabs those rods, we see him just get this fucking like blight from Batman Beyond, just oozing this fucking this just nuclear power glow, whatever. And then he looks at these guys and he says, boo, and they run away. And that's the end of that fight. But anyway, so he puts those 2 rods back, and like the power instantly fades, and he's just like breathes it out. And then he jumps over the wall of cars completely. And we hear this weird growling noise or whatever. And he walks up and he's got a little dog. I mean, it's got 2 heads, but he's got a dog because that's cute, you know? So he's going in with his dog and he's like, oh, what should we do? What are you thinking tonight? Moby Dick? A Kiss Before We're Dying? Palace Walk? Junkyard Joe? And he's just, because he's got his only entertainment's these books. And he's like, yeah, I know. I'm bored of them all too. And he's like, oh man, I'd give anything for a new book, but like no more writers. So anyway, so we see him, and he the box he took from them was full of canned goods, and he opens up some beans and he gives some to both dog heads, and then he sits down with his plate of beans, and we just see this wall behind him full of all these hash marks. And then we after he's done eating, he goes outside and he walks up to that bunker door. And we sees him, and he's like, I know you can't hear me. And he's got his hand on there while he's talking to him. And he's like, and we see the memory of his son going, Dad, Dad, Dad. And it turns out this is Tariq. And he's like, I know you can't hear me, but until it's safe to open the door, I'm going to protect you. And when we can, we'll be a family again. So anyway, from there, it cuts to this new place. And it's this big, weird, it's like, is it a castle? I don't know. We got this guy giving a report like they say a glowing man walking without a suit turned him away. And someone off that we're not seeing is just like, whatever. And he's like, we shouldn't have gone to Boulder City. Safari Bob laid down a deal with the glowing man. And that's the only reason. And this guy's like, who cares about Safari Bob? And he's like, sir, can I stand? It's been over an hour. And we see this kid with a crown on his head, and he's like, huh? Yeah, maybe in a minute. And he's yelling at that painter. He's like, no, my shoulders are more broad. And that dragon was bigger. He was way bigger. And then, and he's just literally holding court and just like trying to be like, I'm big and tough, and you gotta listen to me. And you know what? This will be it. We're gonna go to we're gonna get the glowing man, and we're gonna hunt him down. The guy's like, sire, it's dangerous. And he's like, how dare you? You wouldn't say that to my daddy. And I'm better than my daddy. I'm king now. And he's just walking around and he's pontificating. And he's like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get this guy, and I'll show all the other bosses that I'm my father's son. No, I'm better. This is it. This is where I'm going to get my vindication. And as it zooms out, we see the reason it looks like he's in a castle is because he's at, I think they call it the Castle Land, but it's clearly Excalibur. He's in Vegas. And it turns out there's people living in Las Vegas. So, yeah, that's the end of this issue. And how Vegas survives the apocalypse somehow.
Oh well,
crazy.
That is freezing for some reason.
One of the things I did like about that Army of Dead movie that is not very good is the idea.
But it's so fun.
It's fun.
Batista. But with Batista. But one thing I did like about it is that Las Vegas just having this colorful, wild place that people see as a way of escaping, being this like safe haven for just a few people who are alive.
Why do people go to the hottest place in the world or in America
with no natural water?
With no natural water in a dystopian apocalypse.
Yeah, it sounds fucking terrible.
Absolutely terrible. Like,
how many issues is that?
So it had a run that went 6 issues, and then evidently it had another run in 2024 that went 12. I only read the 6 issues.
I mean, it sounds like a really cool story. I love the art. Yeah, and the I'm very compelled by the first issue. And Image always does really great stuff. Like Image and Boom Comics are become like my favorite comic book studios.
Dude, Boom is
shout out to
insane.
Talking Turd, TT in the building.
Shout out to Talking Turd. What's up,
What's up, TT?
Everybody should take a little TT.
Everybody should take a little TT. It's very important for your black.
Every once in a while.
By the way, I just read your guys' comment. Looks like Kirstyn IG with how she handled that dog. All right, that's good.
But yeah, that was a pretty rad comic. I'm excited to hear what the next issue has in store next week. But we should move on to our first topic of the night. That's right. We are going to a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, you're gonna do it? I got it. I'm already on it.
Yeah, I'll let you do it. We're gonna be talking about Andor. That's right.
Can't use the motherfucking Andor music. Getting them copyrights, baby.
Andor season 2, episodes 7 through 9. It is the big finale. Obviously, this series has been dropping the season has been dropping their episodes 3 at a time. We got our last 3 episode chunk. Before we get into the nitty gritty, let's get some initial thoughts on the way that this series.
My thoughts first. This is episode 9, 7 through 9. There's gonna be a 10, right?
No.
I looked on Google and it says episode guide list 10. Number 10 comes on.
Yeah, there's 3 more episodes tomorrow.
Oh wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
Are you fucking with me?
No, the peak don't stop, baby.
Oh,
holy
shit! That's
shit.
awesome.
I looked it up.
I thought
Andor
this was
season
like-
2.
I thought
heard
that
it's
was the
going to
end.
be the best block. Like, I heard it's crazy.
I feel like you're fucking with me.
He's not, dude. I'm on IMDb right now.
I know. I looked it up today and I was like,
I'm
no.
telling you this. I don't know if IMDb had 10, 11, 12 before. It must have, but
Google doesn't have 10, 11, 12. It just says 10
Yeah,
on May the 13th. So I guess that's Tuesday at midnight.
sure.
I
Well,
feel like
probably
Wikipedia
usually.
didn't have it before. Either.
Oh, I just figured out why it's Tuesday at 2 a.m. It's because it's midnight for you, asswives. We gotta wait for you, fucks.
That's right. That's all the truth. No bullshit. That is exactly why, because it comes on right at midnight, and we're like, yeah. Everybody else had to wait till 3 in the morning. It's okay though.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, that makes me happier. You were hearing breaking news that everybody else already knew.
I'm gonna tell you, which
When he said finale, I was like, "Oh, you mean finale to like the Ghorman arc?" Or
I swear to God, everybody did not know that. Everybody was not aware of that. Me, you, and Jeff completely unaware of that before today. And so I must say that that very few episodes that have to come next. That changed my whole perspective on if this was a good 3 blocker or not. Because I was like, man, what the fuck? What happened to Luthen? And what happened to big hair girl with now long hair girl? You know, what happened?
I heard it's fucking nuts.
We get them answers answered. I mean, the answers answered. The questions answered coming up this week. That's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Like, I'm very excited about these last 3 episodes because honestly, I was pretty satisfied. Like, I was like, this is kind of open ended, but also, you know, these little chunks jump every year. So, like, you know, I'm assuming there's a lot of shit that happens between here and Rogue One. I don't need to have enough tissue.
Think how I would perceive this if I thought it was the end.
I can answer that. It's my top note. You would not be happy.
Yeah, it was, exactly. Me and Jeff on the same shit. It's like, yo, no, this was bad. This was not good.
I'll say this, especially because I thought that was the end of the season, and I know that it's just seasons 1 and 2. There's not going to be a season 3. So no fucking answers. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? No, that's some horse shit. I wanted them to kill Bix. I was like, I guess her leaving. I guess her being like, well, I'm gonna go. It's still like I've lost everything, but it's not really. And like the way he played it in Rogue One, I felt like it was a much harder reality. Like this, he's not living the best life, but it's not as hard as Rogue One made it seem. So yeah, I'm very glad that's not the end.
Next call.
Well, you know,
I wanted Jeff to read this one since he's already
Talking Turd says it's a shame. It's a shame, at least to me, that it took 6 episodes before we got what I was hoping was going to be Andor season 2. But the first 4 episodes, I feel, dedicated too much time, slow burning nothing. And agreed.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Because that
is that talking turds or talking truths? Just
Ooh, that's the more you know moment for sure.
And if you guys were wondering if I'm white, that right there, yep, sure am. That was a pretty fucking white thing to say.
I was wondering. So
I have been wondering for years now. And,
I know the filters.
yeah, it's because of the hackers.
Well, yeah, I think that we pretty much, I think that our initial thoughts are we're glad that it's still going. So let's get into.
Alex got all his notes blown out of the water.
Honestly, I didn't make any notes for initial thoughts, but I feel like we spent enough time being excited that the show's still on. We can move on into the actual episode. Episode 7, Messenger. 1 year later, the rebels have begun coordinating military operations on Yavin 4, where Cassian and Bix now live. Woman tells them that Dedra is on Ghorman, whose rebel activities have been portrayed by state-sponsored media as terrorist campaigns instigated by outside agitators, and encourages Cassian to help assassinate her. This was pretty great way to get things going in this episode.
It was, and I felt like let me just put it like this. Especially since I just found out that there's another block coming. I feel like, because this is how I felt when I was watching this 3 block. I was like, man, we're watching A New Hope, the first 3 block. We're watching Empire Strikes Back in the second 3 blocks. And the next 3 blocks is going to be Return of the Sith, because hopefully it's not going to be Return of the Jedi. Goddamn.
I'm thinking we're going. I think it makes most sense for it to go holiday special.
Holiday special. Look, if it's that bad, I'm gonna be really mad. But I meant that in the tone. I meant that in the tone of the episodes. So, yeah. How y'all feel about these? About what Alex was talking about, not the episodes in general.
Yeah. Now I'll let you go first.
I fucking forgot. Like this part right here.
Just like setting up that that we're gonna have to go assassinate Dedra. Like these two opposing forces that haven't really met each other. Now they're gonna. I was
a bit confused because it seemed like I don't really know when the shift happened where he's like, I'm not fucking with Luthen anymore again.
Right.
But
I figured it was before they went to blow up the doctor.
Right, because he fucked with Bix or visited Bix. Yeah.
Don't you talk to my woman,
And then I thought it was kind of interesting that this dude, what's his name? Will.
Yeah.
And this dude,
they spell it weird though.
It's Wilburn or something like that.
Wylle.
It's Wil, but it's like Wilburn or Wilbon or something like that. But everybody just calls him Will, so I just call him Will.
His name is Willie Wong.
Star Wars has the weirdest name choices.
Willie. That's just what they call. They just call him Willie.
Oh wait, I have it written down here. It's Willman. I don't know why I did just like that.
Willman. Because you stopped looking at your notes when you found out there's 3 episodes.
Othelius has got that.
Oh shit! Oh man, I can't believe this phone is unreliable. I'm gonna probably be making jokes about not knowing what the fuck going on in shows that we're covering. It's amazing.
But yeah, it was pretty dope. I thought he was going to. I feel like Saul Guerrero has also been training him. He's kind of forming the best of both worlds, and he reminds me of Cassian at the end of the first season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely feel like he's hiding something, and it's not just like him, talking to Luthen. I think that he's also been, especially after that weird Heron bro bonding that they had.
Breathe it in, boy. Breathe it in.
That's
please.
Time they hung out.
Definitely. I wanted to mention that, uncle. But I'm gonna let Jeff go first here.
So first off, I love Othelius' comment. This show went from 007 Andor to Hotel Rwanda with the Ghorman Massacre episode. Shit was nuts.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. That's actually perfect.
But so back in the Lost days, when I thought this was the last episode, I was like, well, no. So I immediately watched Rogue One, and I'll tell you what rewatching Rogue One and seeing Saw getting all paranoid and like weird, especially when he's taking another huff, makes a lot more sense when you find out that he's on a respirator because he was huffing glue for fucking decades straight.
Nitrous, but okay. He's like huffing nitrous oxide the nitrous that goes into your car.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Breathe it in, boy.
Sorry, what?
Remind you.
Breathe it in, boy. Breathe it in, boy.
Sorry, come on, Uncle, please.
I got that. What you call it? I got that accent down, dude. I can do his voice so easy.
Yeah.
It's just be out of breath for 18 minutes straight.
But you gotta add the Harlem voice. You have to sound like it's from Harlem.
And you're in pain for some reason.
But no, I will say
it's just I.
Okay. So this episode, the start to this specific episode was like, can we move, please? Like, I get it, but like, guys, you're going, whoa, like you're really stretching here. But then it was also hilarious to me when Syril was like surprised that they were going to instigate the war or the civil war with the Ghormans and everything. It's like, yeah, you're on the bad guy side. And by the way, they haven't been subtle. I mean, like, even with you going after Andor, because I will say, from what you're seeing in the beginning, yeah, he's just a guy that killed 2 off-duty cops for no fucking reason. So, like, yeah, I can understand why you're like, we gotta get it. But then everything about it was like you were just murdering random people walking down the street. And you're like, no, that wasn't him. Shoot another one. Shoot another one. Okay, no, that wasn't him. And then you're surprised that your girlfriend, who you impressed by being a dick, is like, let's be dicks.
Let's be dicks.
Let's be dicks.
That's what happens if you think everyone on the other side is evil as hell, you know?
Yeah. And that's I think that's like the core beauty of this show, like over the course of both of the seasons, is that like, you know, before this show and, you know, even before, like, I guess like the prequels, you sort of just see is like the Empire as, oh, they're this big evil force and they just had more guns. They had the Death Star. So of course they took over everything. Of course, everybody's just going to believe them. But this shows that, you know, that there is like method and like collusion when it comes to
HOD, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps to converting an entire community, an entire like many groups of persons to commit to your cause, whether it be like for good or for ill. And I really like the way that they're just like showing how they sow these seeds, propaganda and everything that makes it seem like the Empire are the good guys and they're the only thing that's standing in between like lawlessness and chaos is just like this unstoppable military force. So I thought that's been handled perfectly throughout the
season. They kind of explain that in the first season. You know, they talk about how the Empire is squeezing, you know, it's a fist squeezing the life out of the people, but what happens is when you squeeze something too tight, it slips through the cracks of your fingers. And that is the revolution.
Well,
right?
in their defense, this was a long time ago, so they never saw it miss.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, to be fair, a galaxy far away.
To be fair.
I will say, when you get shows like this and you're just like, Andor news. It really makes me start to believe simulation theory a lot more. That or people in Hollywood studied a lot more history than I did.
No, seriously, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's scary. What you just described is scary because how in the fuck? Like some of these shows that we've been watching had terrible delays in both writing and in shooting with reshoots and all kind of shit. Daredevil,
yeah.
I mean, goddamn, talk about hitting the nail on the head.
Yeah,
they hit a nail with a nail and it still went in the wall. And then we have it happening here in the Star Wars movie, which Star Wars has always been about authoritarian Roman-like slave labor warnings towards those types of dictators. Like that's what it's always been about. And so here we are, life imitating art, art imitating life. It is crazy.
It's timeless.
I did also just think of something both sad and funny. They probably started writing this probably like 4 to 6 years ago. Maybe they were just writing about not the last president, but the one before that.
Ooh.
Message.
Did somebody hit the button?
I didn't.
Yeah, that's a pretty shitty circle, huh?
But like art depicts life. Like Mickey 17 is another movie that was supposed to come out last year, but it seems like it's made 3 months ago,
bro.
And like we were saying before,
a week ago, dude.
Even the comic book that we showed earlier, like it seemed like it was mirroring the couple from the St. Louis who had their gun.
But Shadow was written about.
Were they in
Trump's
St.
presidency.
Louis?
St. Louis was the couple where she's sitting there with her fat ass like hand on her hip and like.
I couldn't remember if that was St. Louis.
It was absolutely St. Louis because it's cemented in my mind why I fucking hate St. Louis.
Oh, there's plenty of reasons to do that for sure.
Sure are.
Throw another log on the fire.
Nelly, I don't know. I'm just joking, but
Nelly's a friend of the show. That's
why we mess.
That's why we mess. He a friend of the show. We mess with him like that, except for if he beat women. I don't know. That hadn't been adjudicated quite yet. So
figure that out.
If he's out here, assaulting women, then I don't know if I can really fuck with that.
Yeah,
him and Chris Brown hang out a lot.
Too much.
Yeah, if you hang out with him that much, I have.
Yeah, if you hang out with Chris Brown longer than 12 hours a day, you gonna see some things.
You hang out with Chris Brown in the daytime?
Can I tell you? Remind me to tell you something about the weed shop that we go to. Remind me to tell you something about that.
Okay. I'll try to remember that.
Oh, you remember.
But despite his concerns over the mission being from Luthen, Cassian agrees and travels with Wilman to Ghorman. Bix is told by a Force healer that Cassian will be vital to the rebellion. And I thought that scene was like pretty interesting because we don't get a lot of Force stuff in this show. There's no Jedi or anything like that.
Alex, the Force is everywhere.
I'm one with the Force.
And the Force is one with me. Come on, man. We know that.
And I love that aspect of Star Wars. The fact that one of the most beautiful explanations of Star Wars, of the Force, in all of Star Wars, when Yoda is explaining in Empire Strikes Back, and it is all around us, like it's all throughout the universe.
It binds us.
And the people, I like that there are people like this who aren't necessarily Jedi trained, but still have some sort of attunement to the Force. Nine, what did you think of this scene where we just get like this character who seems to be Force sensitive, but she doesn't even seem to know what it is?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny that Cassian was like, "You set the shit up, Bix. You fucking
stupid bitch." I told you about this goddamn shit.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Yeah, exactly. That's the perfect clip to use right there. But to be honest, I didn't really like this scene. It felt a little bit clunky to me, just because I always felt like the Force was in this show, but kind of just like that underlying thing that's like in the dialogue. Even later in this arc, when Luthen's talking to him, and he's like, isn't it crazy? Like, you've been there for me whenever I needed you, no matter what. You try to run away from this thing and it comes back around to you. And I really like that like subtleness of the Force rather than like outright saying that, Cassian's like one of the chosen people.
You feel like this was, you don't feel like this was, I mean, she didn't say the Force. You think she's
a Force healer, and she's like,
well, they never say that either. Which they never say that either. And also, I don't know, what's this Force healing thing like? If this is Force healing, I don't even understand what that means. Like, I'll never remember seeing that. Nobody did that. But, I've heard it. I've heard.
Rise of Skywalker established it on like film, but like it's been in the Clone Wars a couple of times. I'm pretty sure
It's been in video games and cartoons. There ain't no goddamn.
And Rise of Skywalker.
That shit. Rise of Skywalker is not canon. We gonna go ahead. Rise of Skywalker is not canon. I don't know what the fuck y'all be talking about. We are the ones who decide what's canon. We are the ones. You know why? Because we the ones who pay for the shit. you don't have to
with your dollar, people.
Yeah, man, vote with your dollar. You don't have to contribute to this madness. But I think in the next 3 episodes, and all these theories is fresh because I just didn't know that shit was gonna happen.
I do like this. Sorry,
I was gonna make a theory.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead.
I was just gonna read this comment from Talking Turd. He says, "In the bigger picture of the saga, Han Solo arrived on Yavin hours after Andor's death, and goes on to replace Andor in the rebellion." So yeah, he kind of does kind of fill that spot as the sort of rebel.
Rebel.
Hey, I'm a rebel, but I don't really fuck with y'all. I'm gonna go. Like,
what was that?
The fuck I want to.
Was that South Park? Rabble.
Yeah, rabble. Yeah, that was South Park.
Yeah, my theory was like, if she is a Force user, right? Like Nine was saying, she's a Force user. If she is a Force user, I think that's going to play to the theory that Luthen is a Jedi, and that this lady could also be a Jedi. But the Jedi theory didn't. What's canon through books and whatnot that they've still allowed to be canon. The theory is that when Force users went underground and Jedi went underground, they stopped being as attuned with the Force because they don't practice, because they don't want to get caught.
Right, they cut themselves off from the Force.
Right, so essentially they don't have no more superpowers. Essentially, so I think because we're not too far out of the rebellion, like out of the, Order 66, I think that maybe Luthen and maybe this lady and maybe other people that have been through the story could also be Jedi.
Yeah.
Former Jedi.
That could be interesting. I mean, I'm very much loving the fact that this show has not been it hasn't had Jedi. It hasn't been it had to use that as a crutch. But I like a little bit of Force stuff.
I'm not saying that you would get Force stuff. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that you wouldn't necessarily get Force stuff because of their lack of atonement to the Force, a lack of a touch to it. And that goes back to people on the internet, the Reddits of the world's theory on Luthen being a Jedi when he was explaining to old buddy what he had lost. Because the dude was like, "What have you lost, nigga?" Like, "Goddamn, nigga, I'm giving up all this shit. I'm sacrificing." He's like, he said he sacrificed everything after saying literally everything for 4 minutes before he said the word everything. Yeah. Longest ass speech in the whole history of this show.
Probably the best one though.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one.
It's a pretty good speech. It went on a little long.
Go back to the tape. We crushed him for how long that shit went.
I was like, this is really, really great for the first 15 seconds. I was like, all right, bro. Wrap it
was definitely a minute. It was definitely a minute or longer, and you was done at 15 seconds.
I was like, God damn, bro.
All right, nigga, you fucking everything.
Let me guess, everything. It's like when you finish this, you're gonna say every fucking thing. You needed
3 words, cuz 3 motherfucking adjectives. That's it.
It was Shakespearean. I loved it.
No,
it was Shakespearean. You're right.
Flowery.
Winded.
Didn't they take all the 4, 5, and 6 and publish them as Shakespearean novels?
Ooh.
Really?
I believe they did.
So they're trying to get a Peabody.
How did you feel about the Force person here?
How much is it to sign up for a Peabody?
Exactly what you guys were saying. It was cool. It was like, all right, I like learning more about the Force. I like getting this stuff. And then pretty quickly I was like, no, I heard you the first time. Okay. Yeah. Nice and cool are the same thing. You don't gotta say it twice. Yeah.
Again, I really enjoyed this scene. But then later, Bix is told. Then on Ghorman, Dedra finds her position temporarily supplanted by Captain Cato. Great name. Sent by Partagaz to oversee the imperial subjugation of the planet, while Syril begins to doubt Dedra's explanation of outside agitators, given his interactions with the rebels. It was really interesting seeing Dedra and Cyril's relationship over these few episodes. I'm actually gonna jump to a moment that happens in the next episode really quickly.
Holy guacamole! It costs $400 to apply for a Peabody. You got your subscription. We should
just to apply.
Well, you have to apply for any award.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, I gave you $400, and there's a chance I get nothing back.
Yeah, can't be paying for these Peabody.
Well, you get nominated for a Peabody. You dig? You see that? You get put in the pool of nominations. Yeah. Like
hey,
that's
Bill.
Sexy. I think.
You know what, Bill? I nominate you for a Peabody.
Hey,
there. You could say you were nominated for a Peabody, and that cost you $0.
I was about to say I'm not.
You're making dollars.
I was about to say I'm not sending you $400. I mean, I might, but it won't be for a Peabody.
So
I'm me, and if I were you, I wouldn't do it.
In episode 9, Who Are You? Cato instigates a protest in Pablo's central square while closing off the available exits, and Andor, our favorite intergalactic spy, is in the mix. I do want to play this. No, I'm going to play this clip first.
This one,
dressmaker.
That's hey, perfect
designer.
I hope things work out for you. Rebellions are built on hope. He said it.
It's a nice little.
That was good.
One of my favorite quotes of Star Wars.
Yeah,
from
he said it.
Rogue One.
That was from, yeah. He said it. That was it's right. They said that right.
I just remember because Alex he was just watching Rogue One.
Yeah, they really hammer it home in that movie. But I mean, and some people see it as corny, but I fucking love it.
Put some corn in that.
I'm waiting to watch Rogue One again after the finale, but I can understand why you
the finale was last
week. Okay, anyway.
That was 6 days ago.
Oh man, the finale joke is going to be. I might have to timestamp that every time we say it. Like,
bro, I can't wait till next week's series or season finale of Last of Us. Yeah,
right.
It actually is coming up though. Don't get it twisted.
Arriving in the square alongside the protesters, a horrified Syril realizes his role in enabling what the Empire is doing and violently confronts Dedra in her office, forcing her to tell him the truth about the Empire's intentions on Ghorman before storming out.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't play the clip yet because I do have something before we play this clip. I really want y'all to watch this, and I want to know, is there something? Do they seem like kind of erotic, like when he started choking her? Like,
don't kink shame.
I'm not kink shaming, but it looked like at first if she had gave him like the right answer, like he wanted her to tell him what he wanted to hear.
Dude, you don't even need to play it again. I thought it when I was watching it earlier today. I was like,
okay, I'm gonna play it, and I just want to hear, what y'all think.
What are we doing here?
Following orders.
How long have you known about all this? How long? There is an armada up there. They're already unloading in Gelnobi and Liqua. You tell me it's a rumor, and I will throw you out that window.
You hurting me now. She was like, "Oh shit, I like this, Syril. Like, damn, you getting okay? That's what I'm talking about, nigga. You kind of act kind of pussy." And then she was like, "Oh, wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute now. You hurting them? That hurt." Wait, who said that you cut off my circulation? That's from a movie too.
From something. But I did think that was a really interesting moment where Syril is just like, I did think that it was
Oh, that is very YouTube appropriate, man.
I'm gonna let somebody else talk. Nine, what did you think of this?
First of all, this episode was fucking amazing to me.
Yes, agreed.
It was fantastic. Now with this moment, there's a lot to say. Like, there's no hate, like fascism, love. You know what I mean? Like, they were really weirdly in love with each other, but again, that there's this underlying like authority. Like, when she like completely domineers over him and is playing him, and seeing like just the destruction of how he is realizing who he is in like as the cog in this machine, and the person that he's like basically given his all to for like any type of respite with like not being able to see the sun when he's on Coruscant and being on the lower level. Like, that was his baby, and she fucking destroyed everything in his world with just like that manipulation. And you know, like,
I love
there
it.
before, Cyril.
I love it. I love it. As y'all know, I hate Syril.
Yeah.
I motherfucking hate Syril. Syril is my Sabine. Hashtag kill Sabine. And you know,
Yeah, you got that.
I got what I wanted. And I said it in season 1. If this dude don't die, there is no reason for him to have existed throughout this series. If he just didn't die. And the only time he's been useful, like, if you could say imperatively that he was needed through the series to get to a certain point, is when, you know, he became the patsy, unknowingly destroying an entire planet, committing genocide. Now he's a part of it.
Yes, following a directive from Partagaz, Dedra reluctantly orders the troops to open fire, which triggers a shootout between the rebels and the Imperial forces. Then the protests attempt to flee and are massacred either by Imperial blaster fire or by KX security droids released by Cato, which was just incredibly terrifying. Like, that was so goddamn scary, seeing them just like the whole massacre was just awful. And apparently they have mentioned this Ghorman Massacre and Rebels before, but Jeff, are you aware of like any other mentions of this in other Star Wars media?
It's actually finished.
Leave it up, Jeff. Hashtag. And if you get that hashtag going on Twitter and you retweet anything that we put,
I don't think that's a good idea.
You're getting a t-shirt for sure if you got the huevos to hashtag us in that.
I think someone makes jokes that aren't always in good taste.
Hey, some people have different palates.
I don't remember them saying anything about the Ghorman Massacre or anything before this, but I mean, we have heard different massacres and everything, and the fact is just there's goofy names. I don't remember them all or try to learn them all.
Me either. Don't do it at all.
Right. I will say, when the KS droids were fucking people up, you know, that first girl who like just gets like thrown through the air and then she just falls. She's like, huh? I was like, I get it. It's Disney. You can't like make it too graphic, but like, I would expect her to have some broken bones and be out of breath. Not necessarily. She didn't even land on her head. And I was like, but it's Disney, so like, I guess I get it. And then they immediately threw a dude into a wall so hard it cracked. I was like, nope, still don't get it.
Dude,
so, that's one moment I really appreciated. I'm glad that you brought that up, because usually in movies where you see like a monster grab somebody and throw them across the room, that means that they're definitely not going to get killed.
Check out
like,
the Prey video. Check out the Prey video on the Drunk Banthas channel,
where I break down that.
Well, it's not even that. I was actually just trying to find the clip or the screenshot, but he like picks her up like this, like almost like grabs her by the spine and like kind of crushes her spine and then throws her. I was like, holy shit. It was brutal. It was pretty brutal.
I'll say this. The K asteroids in this, is it K asteroids or just K?
Chaos droids.
KX.
That okay. The
KY jelly.
The Charlie the Charlie KX droids.
Charlie XCX, yeah.
With them in this scene and just how fucking strong they were, it did make something else make sense to me, and that's just the Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor games.
Mm-hmm.
They are some of the toughest non-boss enemies, and now it's like, yep, that checks out.
Yeah, that tracks. But now I'm just thinking, like, man, he shouldn't have been so easily killed at the end of Rogue One, but that's neither here nor there.
Kill him.
Oh, no, disagree. I mean, he was taking sustained shots for like 20, 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, he was getting shot a lot by a lot of people.
He had multiple burning holes in him.
Happens.
That sounded like a bad night at Del Taco.
Yeah.
Like,
oh,
he like
yeah,
really
right,
like she was like trying to get up, and he like slams her down, picks her up. Like, I like the meat.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like meat.
Wow.
When she clipped that one. When she got thrown away, I was like, oh, I guess she's gonna come back in the next episode. But then she was immediately dead. I was like, oh,
And then
nope.
dude is just like, bro, like it is kind of like it is just harrowing.
What's crazy to me?
Well, and
is
so like
like-
she lands like on her arm, and it's like she's got like barely, not even like gushing. She's got like she might have like a little blood like
she's
her
got brain
arm,
damage.
and it's just like, I mean, I don't know about that. And then again, dude hit the wall so hard, he and the wall cracked, and I was like, yep, I'm back on board. You were right, I was wrong.
Like,
I did kind of feel that too. I was like, oh
crazy.
yeah, she'll live, but yeah. Clearly, she
Which,
didn't. But
maybe that's one of those things where that's unfair of us to Star Wars because we're just so used to seeing Jedi jump 80 feet like it's nothing.
Like that would fuck you up.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I was surprised, and I don't know if y'all feel the same way. I was surprised that everybody else was so surprised about genocide by the Empire. Like they've already done it like twice in this series. Like, so I don't know. It's kind of confusing how they are, but I guess things on the outer rim don't really make it to this side of the universe. And there's like actual photos of how the outer rim is supposed, like how the entire universe is supposed to work.
Well, they talked about that with Namek's manifesto or whatever. He talks about like how
Like
it's
Piccolo?
easier to hide. Namek, whatever. Namek's manifesto. He says it's easier to hide behind 1,000 little atrocities than one big one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
the thing is that they've always like kind of measured how much they can get away with and who's actually spilling this propaganda out to the rest of the galaxy. But this one just presented itself as way too big of a thing that they could like actually hold back against the other side.
Because they said in this episode that Ghorman is like one of the richest, in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean that this would get the most possible attention, and Luthen allowing the Empire to allow them to fall into a trap was, in a sense, genius.
So
yeah, it's an awful plan. I mean, like it works into the sense that it's gonna draw all these eyes toward the injustices of the Empire, but obviously the toll is high. Like there's a lot of people who are sacrificed in the name of opening people's eyes to the truth. And
have you heard the news about the numbers on Ghorman?
They're in the hundreds already.
Damn.
What that actually brings
Namek though. He said Buddy died by getting his nuts crushed by the same money he stole to fund the revolution. Literally, communist crushed by the weight of capitalism. It is fucking nuts. It is
Yeah,
actually crazy.
I wonder if he was thinking about the irony as he passed away. That does bring us into episode 10. Welcome to the rebellion. In the aftermath of the Ghorman Massacre, the Empire frames the incident as an insurrection. Mothma decides it is time to openly condemn the Emperor and flee to Yavin 4. Senator Bail Organa chooses to stay behind and support her escape. I thought this was a really cool thing to just focus on
Sorry
for the
if y'all heard
episode.
that. It was my elbow popping. Sorry.
Not in here, anything.
You
But
Swear to God, my elbow popping.
Yeah, sound like
You got weird sounding toots.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, Mon, this whole episode is kind of centered around Mon telling the speech and getting prepared for the speech because she just feels compelled to tell this truth to to the galaxy.
Yeah.
Jeff, what did you think of?
I bet you this is your favorite episode.
I mean, it was my favorite episode, but not just because it's got my girl. But it also because it has my girl meeting my MVP of the first season, Andor. But
You're the real MVP.
Jeff, what did you think of just like the storyline focusing on Mon just feeling compelled to tell the truth to the galaxy?
Didn't watch it.
It's that time of the show. We've been doing the show at least an hour. If he hadn't watched it,
It's one of those things where it's crazy. It's even crazier when you realize she is giving the speech with the understanding that she's about to die, that she's going to be killed for giving it, and she still gives a speech. It's also, again, one of those things that really not liking the art imitating life, considering, I mean, like, how many times now are we getting... We had 2 people that were arrested. We had senators arrested outside a fucking ICE station for talking.
Governors,
like,
yeah.
These are, I think senators were too. But like the thing, it's like that's the reality. And it's one of those things where it's real easy to get mad and be like, why are you just talking? Why are you doing anything? And it's like, well, this is what they do. This is how they work, and this is how they do things. And it does. Think about like when you hear like the MLK I Have a Dream speech or the Gettysburg Address, like a good speech.
Do you have any
can
Asians?
galvanize people. And it can get people like knock them out of their thing and get get them moving. So I mean, this is her I have a death wish speech.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
she went out on a limb, but I don't know about y'all. I always have thought about this side of how these things went down in the past, in the gaps that we've had throughout the Star Wars stories. Like this rebellion, as we see in Rogue One and as we see in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, it started and it is huge. It doesn't just have like a few people here and there trying to stop this shit. It is a massive collection of people from all over the universe. And I think it speaks to the first season when they were talking about squeezing them, like I was talking about earlier, the metaphor they used.
Right.
Now all of that has basically turned into a puddle on the ground, and it's all together now. It brought all these people together that were otherwise just stealing and bootlegging and you know what I'm saying? Like they were just living their regular ass life.
Yeah. They just doing hood rat shit with their friends.
Right. And they would have kept doing, they would have kept smoking with cigarettes if they'd have just left them alone. You know what I mean? Like it really wouldn't have come to this, which is just interesting, form of, like I said, hopefully, like Jeff was talking about, about life imitating art, and hopefully that doesn't continue. Because if they have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, on our side, in reality, hopefully that doesn't continue.
I mean, I think someone's got to read this quote.
Athelia said in the chat after this speech, just want to let y'all know I'm not depressed and I don't take any medication. Remember that if y'all don't hear from in the next week, Mon Mothma unaired speech portion.
Right, yeah.
That's the part she was
Yeah.
practicing until Luthen came over and she was like, you know what? I'm gonna change it a little bit.
It's interesting to think about this and shows like Firefly or the movie Serenity, because I mean that's basically what happened when you lose the Civil War, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They were those guys on the outskirts that just wanted to be able to live their lives and go about things, the way they wanted, and they lost their revolution. So then it just turned to let's just be that outlaw on the outskirts as long as we can, and hopefully we'll die before they capture us. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Really, really, really good show.
It's all right.
Amazing.
But yeah, I liked what you mentioned about Mon. It's like maybe some people might criticize her for not picking up a blaster and jumping into the fight like physically, but this is what she does. This is her
Have
strength.
we just been
and it is
all night?
And it is important.
I haven't noticed it.
I haven't heard it.
I haven't heard
Either.
This was on, so I got scared. Sorry.
But yeah, and then later, Senator Bail Organa chooses. Yeah, no, I already said that. Luthen learns from Young and Organa's team that Organa's team is compromised and assigns Cassian to help her escape. Meanwhile, Luthen clashes with Mothma over the death of his subterfuge within the rebellion and his choice to have Tay killed. Now, I thought this was an interesting scene between the two of them because, like, Mon Mothma is acting her ass off at that moment where she just looks so genuinely terrified of Luthen and what he could potentially do to him or do to her. Obviously, we know that.
If you want to wait, I got a clip of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just as I remember.
This is exactly how it was.
Yeah,
a little short. I'm sorry, it's a little short.
But I didn't expect them to start making out and jerking each other off.
Clearly, you're not familiar with Ghorman mating rituals.
Oh man!
May the force be with you. What did you think? What did you think of just like this intriguing moment? Because like this is like peak spy intrigue in this episode. Like,
yeah, we get back into the Mission Impossible bag with this episode. Now
different song.
I gotta wait. Are we gonna do this again?
This is how we don't get copyright flags.
But no, this shit was pretty intense. Just knowing that like Luthen has been everywhere, and how they set it up too, with dude being at the wedding and him just like kind of mingling around and meeting people, and then he's like, actually, I could see a play here where you can be helping me out and also helping her out, but at the same time, there's that betrayal because she doesn't know what reality is anymore. Like, wait, hold on. You've been working for Luthen this whole time. That is fucking nuts.
You bitch, you.
Right. Yeah. Like, who do you trust at that point? Sorry, I got so many things I want to talk about. I feel like we brushed over Syril's death a little bit, but
oh no, we can get back to it because that's my favorite part.
It was just so tragic. And then with everything going on in this episode, especially how it started off with Bail Organa, I was actually going to ask you guys, like, how did you feel about this new Bail Organa? Apparently there's like scheduling issues or something that he just couldn't. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, because
he's
he should have
filming
been
some New York City cop show that he was previously engaged to.
He's doing a show that costs is paying him more money. That's what.
But I would say that this dude did a great job.
Oh yeah, Benjamin Brad did a great job, and I love how they got the actor that everybody confuses Jimmy Smits with. This is Benjamin Brad.
They got Tay Diggs.
Nobody's confusing him with him anymore. Back in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah, back in the 90s, everybody said, yeah.
I didn't like it. Like I completely understand why they had to do it. And don't get me wrong, I like Benji. I think he's a great fucking actor. And I mean, he's got range too. I mean, he was Sandy B's boyfriend in Miss Congeniality. So
yeah.
He's got his best role.
He's got Mariah Carey range. Like,
right? Yeah. Honestly, and I'll say this. I realized it when I was on my walk earlier. The reason I don't like it is because, and I don't know if this is because of Jimmy Smits or just Organa as a character. Physically, I see him as a bigger character. Not fat, just like a big guy like Jimmy Smits is. Right. And old Benjamin Bratt, he's just so small and slender that it's just like, I don't know, you don't look like regal enough to be Bail Organa. That was all it was for me. That was the big reason why I didn't like it. But I'll say this, he acted like a politician. He acted like he had that authority. He did a good fucking job. So
spoke well. He was very articulate and
quite eloquent.
That's what they say about black politicians.
Would you say that he was quite congenial?
Ooh,
congenial.
I never said that word in public. Ophelia's said that Jimmy Smits was filming Dexter.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good excuse.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't seen it, but Dexter was one of my favorite shows when it was out.
You couldn't get a day off. Come on.
Michael C. Hall is still the voiceover, so the narrator. So I love that.
But, yeah, that's right. It's like the prequel Dexter.
Yeah, it's prequel. Yeah. Michael C. Hall too old. Get out of here. No, I'm joking.
Also, these fucking sets. These sets are crazy.
Oh yeah, the sets look beautiful. Like I was constantly stunned by just how much. Like I'm sure that there's some sort of like CGI going on for like the way background scenes.
That's the way you're supposed to use CGI.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's very skillfully utilized.
Apparently like the cameras in episode 8 were all practical.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Before we get into
costumes too look really good. That was a Bail Organa suit. They went to Jimmy Smits' closet and they got the fucking extra suits he stole from set.
And just tailored them up a little bit.
Yeah, like to skip it up.
Yeah.
Before we get into this last scene in this last episode, or last couple scenes in this last episode, Nine, you did say that you wanted to bring up Syril's death for a little bit. You want to touch on that? You had any thoughts?
I'll tell you, he did. That's it. No,
he did. I just thought it was amazing that we saw his world being torn down, his realization of like what he's aided in, and all of that just goes away when he sees Cassian. Like the rage in his eyes and just like him unknowingly saving Dedra again. It's just kind of perfect. And that's what I was talking about, like kind of like with the force being like underlying with this show, where all of these things are coming together
like butt cheeks.
Coming together like butt cheeks. And it was a good fight. Like they are just kind of like isolated in the shop. The set is beautiful and they're brawling. But I did notice that like Andor was more so on like trying to get away type.
Yeah, like what the fuck wrong with this
like,
thing?
come on, like you're not like, who the fuck are you?
This motherfucker just fighting me like damn nigga, like calm down.
Well, and with that being the episode name too, is who are you?
Yeah,
who
bitch.
are you?
Well, that's what she said at the end.
That's one of those things that like it actually bitch? Though also it was a great line on top of just the hilarity and everything. Also because like that explains his fighting style in this scene. He's confused as shit. He doesn't know why this is happening or what's happening. So yeah,
but as soon as he's like, all right, I'm not playing around with this boy. He goes left, right, weave, fucking right?
Explosion.
Like
Cyril been working out though. Cyril must have been
I-
working out because he
I'll
was.
say
he
that.
ain't no
Well,
rebel.
he's
though.
way
He
bigger,
ain't no rebel.
and he's got way more of a reach. I
He's
actually
got
like
reach.
that they had Syril kind of beating the fuck out of Andor because I was like, yeah,
We got the
I
sneak
could
on
see
him.
that.
We got the sneak
Oh,
on him.
and
You got
dude,
the
that
sneak on
was a fucking tackle too.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
fun way to start the fight.
TT said it was a very jailhouse fight. He said it was very jailhouse fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
if
wasn't
he
fun.
had a shiv, it would have been in a kidney.
And I will say, just like real quick, that I do appreciate Cyril's point of view as a character.
He was like, let me handle this boy real quick.
Now that Cyril's gone, just thinking about like his utilization in the show, I do think his point of view is really important. Like seeing how somebody in his on that level of whether you're on you can see how you're working for the good guys if you're just like this pragmatic dum who's just like trying to make a name for himself in the galaxy, and he gets a job, he thinks, and he gets himself a nice woman, and he just falls into this terrible. Well, he finds a woman that's
nice
right.
woman.
Well, the thing is,
That's right for him.
well, the thing is, you say that
I'm laying
he's a
these
dumb.
down, so.
You say that he's a dum and a pat. Like he's really just like any villain, like any true villain. He thinks he's the good guy. He doesn't see himself as the villain. He doesn't see himself as doing anything bad, even though he knows he's spying on these people. He's taking advantage. He knows that whatever they do, they're not going to be living their regular life. Like whatever the retaliation that the Empire has, it wasn't going to be good.
Yeah, they're
so
not gonna hand out candy.
He reminds me of a guy that's been like watching Andrew Tate or Jordan Peterson for fucking ever, and has just been looking for a purpose in his life, and just the wrong side recruited him.
I can't find it right now, but Talking Turd said that earlier. He said that he seems like he has red pill energy.
He was the useful idiot for the ISB operations on Ghorman. And there was a moment I was like, is he going to go to the rebellion? Is he going to do that? There was a real chance for that happening when he realized what side he was actually on. That's what I think was like tragic about his death, is because he did want to fight for the good, but he was just so fucking messed
I
up.
also think that's why when he saw Andor, that rage came out, because he's literally watching every belief he's had crumble and literally be murdered in front of him. And then he sees the one thing that he's like, but I know I'm right about this, And it's what it is he's a true believer. That's the reason. He's such a true believer. He's not going to ask any questions, and he's just going to be like, yes, daddy, and go along with it.
Yeah, and I did like the touch that he is a villain essentially, but he still has a heart. He's still horrified by everything that's happening. Not so much as Dedra, which she obviously affects her too, but you could tell he's just not down for any of this shit. And then he gets shot in the head by that guy from Inglourious Basterds who gets his self killed by the bear Jew.
Yeah. He wasn't drafted. He signed up. So he's a soldier, but you still chose to sign up,
And then but this question of who are you, right, is crazy, because he's like realizing that he's dedicated like so much of his life to finding this one. It's his passion, and it's his catalyst to everything that he is today.
Yeah.
And then this other person is looking at him like, who the fuck are you? Who are you? Like,
and
why are you like this?
Why are you like this? Correct me if I'm wrong, but German dude, he said something to that effect to him too. He said, "Who are you? What kind of person are you to say those words to me and think that they mean anything?" So I feel like he was actually bringing those words throughout his head too when Andor said, "Who are you?" And that's why he sort of started to lower his gun. Just in time to get shot in the fucking head
by that same guy.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But, both of the is just like
someone said that it was like the Street Fighter thing, where he's just like, For you, it was the worst day of your life.
Oh yeah.
Me, it was a Tuesday. It was a Tuesday. It was just like,
You tell him, Gomez.
Ophelia said, "You can't be a cop and be a hero. You're a public servant. Stop trying to be a hero when you're given a protocol to follow." Ooh, message. It's not tragic to me. It's right on time. A well-intentioned white guy doing the worst thing possible and only questions it when it's too late. Meanwhile, innocent civilians suffer their consequences. Yeah, this is Tales all the time.
Wait, we're supposed to question?
Mr. President, thanks.
Oh, that's a very well-timed clip, sir.
That's a good enough time as any to move on to the last couple of scenes in this episode because we do have to move on. I do want to play this clip from just the really exciting ending of this episode.
We need to speak. I have friends everywhere. I know Luthen can be hard, but if he's right about this, you have no choice but to come with me.
Stand down, everyone!
What are you doing?
Shut up!
She's a rebel spy!
I'm not sure I can do this.
Welcome to the rebellion.
What?
The low.
Perfect.
What a way to end a series.
Nice edit.
Final episode was Liddy to Teddy.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome, man. I was so excited just to see my two favorite characters finally meet each other.
Right. Yeah.
And it popped off exactly how I wanted it to. Like after she gives this rousing speech that I definitely cried during. We get to see this super thrilling, like, a Born Identity-esque escape scene. It's incredible. What did you guys think of this scene? Bill, I'll let you go.
I like how old buddy was like, she's a rebel. Bow.
Yeah.
But if I call her a rebel, no one's gonna question if I shoot her in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm like thinking somebody else is gonna shoot the bitch. This nigga said, bow. I don't even think she got a gun turned around to him. She just was like, he was like, just shoot the bitch before she says anything.
She did have a gun because she
had one
at the guy that called her a rebel. That was the right move.
This is a screenshot of me trying to convince people to watch Andor.
This is you giving your elevator pitch, cornering somebody.
Until 2 weeks ago, I was a chick.
Right, yeah. Like, you gotta fucking watch it. But yeah, and did you guys catch that it was Lonnie that set that up?
With the rabbits?
What, Lonnie?
With
Lonnie Watson? You talking about Lonnie Watson from Detroit?
Yeah, I think he is from Detroit. Actually, I think. I think that.
That'd be so great if that was the only part of our universe in Star Wars.
He runs the bando off of 86. But yeah, no, they were saying that Lonnie's or Jung's agent is Lonnie Jung. So that's how Luthen knew that. That's how Luthen knew that there was a mole in the group.
In Organa's team.
Yeah. Because he set that whole thing up. I was like, damn, that's pretty fucking nuts. Like that Lonnie does not get any screen time during this arc. But he plays a pivotal role of like how
that
this
is interesting.
Gets out. Yeah.
Ooh-wee! This nigga got some $1 million words, don't he?
Respect to Lonnie because he's definitely getting found out after this too. Lonnie's dead.
Nigga, you been playing around out here.
There's only one way that anybody would know that this shit was going down.
The only thing I don't like about having a new season coming up, well, Jeff, you're gonna give you 20 seconds, but it's just weird. Like, where are they gonna go? Because we know that Yavin 4 doesn't get like found out or anything. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so I don't know.
I know where they're gonna go.
Go ahead. There you go.
We're going to. I think Bix is going to die. We also need. Dedra's going to die, and something's going to happen to Luthen because he wasn't at all in Rogue One. So we got a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up between now and Rogue One's beginning, and we only got 3 episodes for it.
You have a lot of bridges to burn.
Yeah, and we're gonna get another year time jump, so I'm sure that they can skirt some of that with. I'm sure they can skirt some of that with just like, oh, a lot of that happened in the interim between chunks of episodes. And disturbed, Cassian decides to leave the rebellion and start a new life with Bix, but she leaves in the night, leaving a video message telling Cassian that he must stay with the rebellion to help win, and that she will find him again once the rebellion has succeeded. Now, I personally like
you like
this
that.
Yeah, that
was good.
This is another scene where I just like teared up because, especially because I don't think that we're gonna see Bix again personally.
Oh,
but
she's gonna be murdered.
She's too hot to not.
Too hot.
I liked this. Like, this is an idea of her the last time we see her, because like she's leaving out that hope. Is like, you know what? After you like save the day and like bring peace to the world, then we can have like our sunset. And that just like really crushed me, because we all know what happens.
What
to
the
Andor.
sunset
like,
is, yeah.
yeah. That nigga does not make it to A New Hope.
Thought you were gonna say this really crushed you because you woke up like this before. Like,
I got a video message just like this.
For 2 years, it was his outgoing voicemail.
I dead ass was like, oh, I was ready for something really bad to have happened to you, because you're like, this really crushed me. I was like, ooh.
Oh no, yeah, it's like, yeah, do not getting that deep on the podcast.
He got a Dear John letter in this. So Dear John letters also exist in this universe.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What if this causes Andor to go full on incel for the last 3 episodes?
Yeah, he becomes
saying we got to replace one incel with another.
Cassian Tate.
Cyril,
man, these bitches don't love you.
And then Rebel technicians managed to reprogram the K2SO, the stolen KX droid, to serve them. Yeah, obviously we got Alan Tudyk, who plays him in Rogue One. He's very hilarious, and he has a pretty funny introduction. Wait, what'd you say, Nine?
Alan Tudyk is dope, like random ass voice actor. I feel like
yeah,
he just has some really great roles, and you just never expect it when you look at him.
yeah, obviously great as Wash in Firefly. Thank you, Jeff. He plays a great Joker on Harley Quinn too.
Great in Moana.
I've never seen Moana. That's a blind spot for me.
He plays the chicken that doesn't say a single word.
He just says block.
He said, all he says is cash that chick. Voice acting role. You don't have to say anything. Hell yeah. But guys, let us know what you thought of this chunk of Andor episodes. Let us know what you think of what is definitely going to be the 3 episodes that we definitely knew was going to happen. Is that going to be the actual finale of this series? But before we,
I did Google it. There is not going to be a season 3.
Yeah.
No, there's not. Y'all know why there's not going to be a season 3?
Because there was supposed to be 5 seasons.
Yeah, but guy who plays Cassie was like, bitch, I said no.
Yeah.
I ain't doing no shit.
I think he made the right call.
I think we all think so.
Yeah.
We all think so.
I remember him saying that like back
possibly 3 seasons.
I could see 3,
possibly.
Nope.
But yeah, this is
This is the first time I've never agreed with that kind of concept.
I've said it about comic books. I said it about gemstones. I will say it again. Give me a good ending as opposed to a show just running on and on and on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But let's move on. But let's move on to our next topic of the night. That's right. We're going into the wonderful post-apocalyptia that is The Last of Us. He said, hoping that this fucking button would work.
It worked.
Wonderful. But yes, Last of Us.
Sorry, I sneezed, Joe. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ.
Oh God, it's the spores.
Yeah.
The horse.
But Last of Us season 2, episode 5. The Feel Her Love. That's right. It gets really
R&B song.
Feel Her Love. Yeah, it's getting really creepy out in Seattle. En route to the hospital, Ellie and Dina encounter more dead Seraphites. Ellie questions bringing Dina, but Dina reiterates her commitment to their quest for revenge. And we get a little bit of backstory on Dina, on her tragic
kill my father, son.
On her tragic way she ended up in Jackson. But what were you guys like initial thoughts on just like how this episode starting out? Dina and Ellie on their way to get revenge. Jesse?
Revenge, I say.
Well, actually, my initial thoughts were from before this. It was from that pre-credit scene that we got. When they're in the olden times or right after the outbreak started. I had two thoughts from that. My first thought from that was, it's always funny seeing Naomi from Waiting in a Serious Role. And two,
I thought that was her.
It absolutely is. Two, it's always weird. It is weird to me. Because by the way they were explaining that story, like what's going on down there, and they were coughing, I was like, oh, they're finally introducing the spores? And I was like, this seems like a really weird late way to explain it. Because in the games, obviously the spores are there right from the beginning. It's how Joel confirms Ellie's actually in. Like, yeah, he sees the bite in the test, but like they're going through a building and she's just walking through the spores like normal. He's like, holy shit, you really are. And then in part 2, that's how Dina finds out Ellie is immune. They're like when they're running in the basement and like falling, like Ellie's mask gets cracked, and she's like, and Dina's like, oh, let me, we'll share mine, and she's like, no, fucking keep it on, and so, and in the show when Dina sees Ellie get bit, and then it's like, oh, okay, I hated that one just for the reason of like, okay, other people can now see that bite mark as well. And that's why I didn't like that. But then, to the part that you were talking about when Dina is like going into her background and everything, there were 2 parts I really liked from that. One, I really liked that Dina's like, okay, because we're being like, after her speech and everything, she's like, are we going to go? And they're like, yeah. And she's like, okay, we're being reckless. We need a plan. And I really love that she said that. In the game, that was like the one thing that I really didn't buy. I was like, you two are making the dumbest fucking decisions. And like, I don't know how you're not so fucking dead from like 8 chapters ago. So I really like that. And then last part about the opening is just Dina, in my opinion, is so much more badass in the show than she was in the game.
Oh, interesting. And and speaking of is there a knock at the door? Is there somebody else who wants to join the conversation? Oh, that's right. Is he a clone? Is he a variant? Who's to say? I guess only him. Producer T. Welcome back.
How's it going? How's it going?
I don't know why the doorbell is the Undertaker.
But stop it. I'm not doing that.
Look, man, you coming in. It's just what it is.
It's
I changed it from my Jetsons. Maybe I'll get the Jetsons back.
It's the church bell from Euphoria. Kendrick Lamar's Euphoria.
I'll be honest, every single time I hear it, I'm just thinking, I just expect Hell's Bells to start playing. And it's like drives me insane every time that it doesn't then go to the guitar.
Well, T, since you walk the way that you talk, yeah.
T, since you've joined our conversation, I'm curious of what you thought, because Jeff did bring up the true opening of this episode, like this little flashback scene. I'm going to play a little clip from the behind the scenes, and I want to hear what you think about it.
The character has to make a very difficult choice, which is to seal her own son. Do I save the person that's closest to me, that I love the most, or do I make the ultimate sacrifice And here we get to see someone who made the opposite choice that Joel would have made.
So what do you think about that parallel between this character that we meet at the beginning and Joel, and just like how they made drastically different decisions?
Like I said last time when we were talking and discussing, do we or do we not think that Joel made the right decision of killing Ellie based on do we think that there was a cure chance or not?
Right.
I don't know. I still don't think the decisions really weighed as much as what she had. Like she knew her son was dead. He had the disease and it was coughing. It's like, nah, he's gone. He's a goner. There's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
So she didn't have any other choice but to either like have herself get sick, right, or seal him up. Like she knew he was already gone.
This nigga said.
But like,
this nigga said, why she worried about her son?
Made a good choice. I don't think none of those choices are compatible. Hold on one second.
And this episode came on.
They're compatible.
Mother's Day. This episode came out on Mother's Day.
Yeah, that was.
And he's like, I don't even know why this nigga mad.
You don't know. Maybe she didn't like her son, and that was her present to herself.
I'm under the belief that
kid might have been a
narrative-
Y'all can't do that. Y'all can't say stuff like that while I'm drinking my water, man.
I'm also under the belief that the narrative has to work with Joel making the wrong decision. Like, Ellie was going to be the cure.
But we don't know that. I don't know that. I haven't played the games. That was interesting. A point you brought up about the spores. I do know, like, from the little bit of the first game that I played, I was like, yeah, this is kind of weird that you're just now bringing up the spores. Like, that's kind of been a thing already. And
right away in the first game.
What Ilya said about the stalkers, I was like, yeah, that was like one of the main creatures you fight. Like, what's going on?
I like how they bring it up just because
I do like how they brought it up. I'm not complaining, but it is late.
I like how they mentioned that, like, this is probably like one of like site zeros of like where they brought people to get treated, and so that's why it's kind of like had a time to fester. There would be people here for decades or years or even like months or whatever, so it has its own like ecosystem that made the spores possible,
and it was like its own enclosed ecosystem. No one went in or out, so it was just rampant.
I like that idea. That makes sense that it would there's an environment for it to thrive, and that's why it's not everywhere. I haven't played the games, but I like that idea that they didn't bring that up immediately. It's just like there's more threats to reveal rather than
like
just
the movie Evolution.
It's like we spoke to last season. Like, they did a lot of things, or they did a couple of things towards the end that were like, going into the second, the second game, like TV should. And I just feel like this is their way, or that was their way of making sure they'd have 2 seasons. I mean, they could have did both games in one season. Like, honestly, yeah, you could. You just make it. Hey, how many episodes is this? How many episodes is this season?
7.
So seven episodes. They could have just did another 7 episodes or another 5 episodes and still got this whole TV show.
So the reason I'm saying no, I just beat yes. Is
this your king? Is this your king?
Last week I beat what's clearly the end of season 2. Last of Us Part 2 is going to be season 2 and season 3. So at minimum, because of that, it could not have been.
But that's because they're making 7 episodes. Episodes. That's not. That's not a TV show. That's if you put out 7 songs, that's not an album. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have enough to make a fucking album, dog.
Tell that to Prog Rock.
How many episodes was Ozark putting out? Like, you don't have to have a 10 episode season.
I don't know.
It was putting out way more.
I think it's like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dina and Ellie, they are ambushed by stalkers in an abandoned warehouse and saved by Jesse. Comes up out of nowhere to save the day. Who had arrived in Seattle with Tommy to look for the two. Pursued by Wolf, 3 enter a local park and witness the Seraphites disembowel a Wolf soldier.
Straight from the game.
Yeah, I was actually gonna play this clip that shows a little comparison between the game and the TV show.
Hey, listen, what the
They know what Isaac is planning. I can help you.
They are nested with sin.
He is nested in sin.
Free.
No!
Free him, that he may know her love.
Now he is free.
Now he is free.
I spent so much time trying to save that motherfucker in the game just to see if I could, and yeah, nope.
You can't.
Yeah, it's a game that gives you choice that isn't real.
Also, I'm going to say Othelius, first off, having some great fucking quotes here. The one above that one, I literally, the exact quote in my notes, except mine says "your" instead of "y'all." Y'all not ready for what's in the hospital basement. That's all I'm going to say.
So wait, did you finish? You finished?
I am in the I have 2 chapters left in number 2.
Ooh.
Damn. You catch up fast as fuck.
You don't even. You have no idea, man. This dude just kills it. It's ridiculous.
I have alcohol, no life, and OCD. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Yeah, you don't need cocaine for that.
Uncle Baby Billy, take a lesson.
Yeah, what do you guys think of these wild Seraphites? 9. Like, what do you think of these crazy ass?
These wild Seraphites.
I mean, yeah, they wild as hell.
They are naughty.
They are wild as fuck. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe this is just like part that I didn't find so interesting. I was more interested in like the brief character building that we got beforehand of like, I was like, how the fuck did Jesse get there? Like, and they did explain that. They're like, yeah, you left the maps. I was like, well, how did he find the theater? And he was like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to talk to you.
I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
And so, yeah, and just like that little triangle that's going on because he doesn't know that Dina is pregnant yet.
He should. He was the one letting off in her. He should know.
Yeah, he should know. He's like, that's probably why he's there. He's like, I've been shooting up the club.
You know,
I've been shooting up the
They
club.
start fucking. It was gross.
I don't know, man. Sex ed isn't too good in America right now. I don't know if it's much better after the fall.
Yeah. Right, fucking Fallout.
Somebody know how these babies get made.
I know.
But
I know.
Visit us. What do you mean?
I know when you said Fallout, you didn't mean it this way, but I took it immediately to mean that was your term for him impregnating her.
Yeah, I thought that was the process of birth. The baby just fall out.
No, that part of Fallout where he's just like, yeah, you know, sometimes when
you want to make my dick
do it, it gets all big and then it like bursts. It doesn't happen to me though. It doesn't happen to me though. But you know, it's always a risk.
But what about you, producer T? Like, because I personally thought that this was like interesting seeing another threat. Like, I think that they walked into this city thinking that the wolves were only people to be afraid of, and now they see these crazy
there weren't that many of them either.
Right. Yeah. So what do you think? Like, just seeing them for just who they really are, I guess.
I don't know. I still kind of feel indifferent towards them. Like, but like I said in the last episode, I would have bounced out when I saw that war and explosives going on. I would have been like, no, I'm not handling this.
Exactly.
But so far to me, it feels like, you know, these little Amish people are just trying to like live their lives, and like the wolves are just fucking them up. I'm like, no, we want to leave these little Amish people alone. I don't get it.
It looks like you have a little Stanley cup
I've been doing it the whole time, like subtly just being like switching from
It's like what's going on here?
How messed up am I? I swear that cup was way bigger a second ago.
Yeah,
I just always assume I'm messed up enough to see it happen.
Yeah,
matter of fact,
I am.
I don't know. I'm kind of team Amish people. Like, leave them folks alone. They don't.
I don't know or understand why they're fighting. I take no sides. I think they're both stupid. One is religion, and one is a religion.
The stalkers are stupid. Like, I'm more on the wolf side, actually, to be honest.
Man, they're disemboweling people, man. That's goddamn.
No, those aren't the wolves.
The stalkers.
I'm saying I'm more on the wolf
I thought you were on their side. My bad.
The stalkers are the new infected. The scars are.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Jeff, what are you saying? Because I think you're giving
the stalkers are the new infected we saw. The scars are the cultists.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I needed that clarification for sure.
Right.
No, I feel like the
and then Terry, what were you saying?
Are stupid.
I was saying I'm team scars. I'll support the cult.
I'm team wolf.
I don't know. What team are you on?
Shit. If I have to choose a team, goddamn.
I
guess I would choose the Wolves.
God damn.
It's like I guess I would choose the Wolves because like I'm not like trying to put no scars on my cheek or whistle in the woods.
That's how I thought.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can't do that whistle with my fingers.
Yeah, they would.
I can just do the, like I can do that.
Yeah, I can't whistle like that.
Dude,
Yeah.
and mine was really loud. Like I can do it. You hear it at Staples Center, but
they would split my gut
plus,
up.
also, did anybody see any black people with the scars?
That's also what I was thinking too.
Have we seen any with the wolves?
Yeah, we
I
saw.
thought this dude was kind of like
Jeffrey Wright is black.
I'm saying like every.
Oh yeah, Isaac
is like white as fuck on the
this
scars.
guy. I don't know. This guy looks.
Well,
like,
it is Seattle.
First of he was saying it at the same time. It is Seattle.
Y'all are informing people about shit all day today. Ah, man, y'all are intelligent. Go ahead, Alex.
We have definitely seen both sides do some horrible things, which is just
Both sides were good. Both sides were horrible.
There's good people on both sides here, okay, guys.
But
Have you guys watched Lost?
I'm not going to. I tried so many times to watch Lost. I'm not going to pick a side, but I will say this actually is keeping up with the game in the sense of like this is kind of like game progression. This is kind of the first time you start learning about the scars, and you'll start learning a lot more about them after this in the game as well.
So yeah, then Dina is shot in the leg with an arrow,
Ow.
and Jesse carries her out of the park with Ellie.
Pull it out, come on.
While Ellie creates a diversion to attract the Seraphites. After evading them, Ellie continues to the hospital alone because she knows Nora's ass is up in there. And then she chases Nora into the quarantine basement that is covered in airborne cordyceps spores,
Covered in
which
smother.
infect Nora, but not Ellie. Now I thought that this was a pretty rad scene. I just want to play a clip from that scene. Real quick.
Yes, thank you. Oh, our nips just touched. Mine are so hard.
Mine are different sizes.
No,
I'm gonna go back to school. Become a biologist, specialize in fungus, make this fungus in real life, and let it loose in your goddamn apartment.
No.
So yeah, that was a
We can't have two meme clips in rotation. That's too much power.
That's a zooming right there.
It's too much fucking power. No, not. Come on. Not even one man should have that much power, but now there's two. I can't do this and the goddamn penguin thing that's going.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
The thing is that penguin quit. It would have worked better when the penguin was going on.
I don't know why.
the fuck did you guys not use that then?
I agree. I agree.
The penguin thing
I
would have worked better, and now we have two.
Tell him.
We have two penguin clips that are
Tell him.
overly
He needs to give
sexualized.
in to his demands, or the city of Gotham is doomed.
Shout out
Give in
to
to
the
my
Gotham
demands, or
Knights.
I'm gonna fucking jerk off Chris Farley until he to completion.
And that is a great place to start with. That was a great segue into this scene. Why are we starting with this scene? They just jump to the end. I'm good with it.
So with the scene, I do have a question. Do you guys by chance have game footage of this scene?
I do not.
Do not.
Okay.
I just chose one.
I'll explain what it looks like then, because I think the game looks cooler in that part.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I'll explain when we get to it.
He will explain.
Okay, well, yeah.
Well, wait, are you talking about when she meets Nora?
He said he'll explain.
When we get to the pipe scene, I'll get to it.
He will explain when he's ready.
when she meets Nora, I actually really did like this scene because I thought they were going down the route of like, hey, this was so bad. Like, why did you have to witness that? But it turned out that she actually has no remorse for what happened to Joel. And I thought that was like a really good twist with like just my expectations of how the show would go. I did think that Ellie was going to go there, but like calling Joel a little bitch was crazy. And saying like, oh, I still hear his screams in my dreams. And it's like, okay, it's dreams, not nightmares.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I am alive for this shit.
Right. She wakes up in the morning so happy. It was like, oh man, I was just thinking about Joel dying.
Yeah.
Nora's sitting there, was just like, life's pretty boring. I'm gonna say this.
But yeah, like it was. I really enjoyed Nora's character in that moment. Like I liked her resolve. She's like, "No, I'm standing on business." Yeah, your dad fucking sucked. And speaking of standing on business, Ellie is just like, "Yeah, I know that he killed all those people. And I'm fucking glad they're dead." No, she didn't say that. But I do feel like
you know at this point, like, did she really know?
I believe her. She looked like she was telling the truth to me.
Yeah.
Does who know what?
Does Ellie know that Joel killed all those people in the hospital? And I mentioned in an earlier episode of the pod that I think that we're gonna get some reveal in the flashback episode where Joel divulges a little bit too much information and gets
drunk,
and he's like just basically in one way or another confesses to Ellie what happened, and that's what drives the witch.
I agree with Othelius.
Second,
R.I.P. Nora and Marlene. They were too fine for this world. Indeed, yeah, they were incredible actresses. Got some great stage presence.
Oh yeah, actors. Yeah,
who?
That too.
Nora. This is
her.
Yeah, badass bald head in this episode, and Marlene who was killed in the first
the leader of the Fireflies.
Yeah, season 1 finale.
Oh yeah, no, that was a travesty. I'll tell you that. That was a tragedy. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
Apparently, this girl's been in like a whole bunch of video games as an actress, and she's in one other one, which apparently is why her head's shaved right now. She's like filming a video game while being in a video game, and she's filmed a whole bunch of video games. That's crazy.
Yeah, no,
Shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
Tati Gabrielle.
Tati Gabrielle. Hopefully we see more of her.
She was in the Uncharted movie.
I would love to see more of her.
Oh, that's why I never but yeah, then Ellie pretty much tortures Nora. We don't really see the resolution of this torture. We don't know if she actually gets any information out of her, but it pretty much smash cuts to what I'm assuming all of next episode.
What we do know, you know what we know? Nora ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, she is all the way fucked up.
She gonna be in there breathing because clearly you're still alive as a infected spore breather.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were orderlies.
air in
there.
and then breathing spores out. That
There were orderlies.
Kind of looks like it doesn't like make you crazy. Just kind of looks like it makes you just sit there, right?
Yeah.
Well, those are the ones that have been down there literally there's
Yeah,
no one
that's
for them to
basically
infect.
what I've been trying
So
to say.
the fungus isn't taking over their brain, trying to get them to attack people to infect.
No. Well, this guy right here is literally the dude's.
It's Leon, right?
Yeah, that's Leon. So like,
Well, one of I don't think
he
that's
hasn't
Leon. I
even
think it was
been.
a different dude that they showed, like a second guy.
It
was
really hasn't been that long for Leon.
Nah.
So it
Or
does
has it? Was that a
definitely.
flashback?
Yeah, it has.
How long has it been?
So this is. No, I was thinking. Sorry, I was thinking about when the. It's been at least as long as since the Fireflies were, popped, because that was around the time the Wolves were starting.
Oh, so okay. So when those two ladies were talking in the beginning, that was the flashback.
That was absolutely a flashback. Because
okay.
That was them talking about like, hey, this was like the first place they brought the infected, and then it was right after they took over the Ferda guys. So yeah, this is probably at least 5 years.
Okay.
I would
All
guess.
right.
That's
I was like,
complete,
damn, they're really
guesstimate.
working fast here. I thought it was like in the same type of like time period or whatever.
Me
Okay,
too.
so he's
for a
been
little
there.
bit. But when I kind of
Yes.
thought, I was like, maybe it had to be a flashback because like that was super
Okay.
fucking fast.
All right, that makes more sense.
To the point where like I had to back up because I was like, did I miss the like 4 years ago or whatever part?
Hold on.
Yeah,
Right.
I did. Yeah, it did feel like just with the language of it, everything that it was a flashback. But guys, let us know what you thought in the comments of this episode. Where you think the show is going to go for these last 2 episodes. We only got 2 episodes left in the season, but we're gonna move on to.
We do have to talk about one thing. We have to talk about the
Yeah, see, there he is.
stalkers.
That's the son.
Yes,
We do have to talk about the
we got
stalkers.
more stalkers.
Because the
Someone
stalker,
said that this was a Glade plugin. Which
That's
is
really good.
yeah, you gotta start starring those right there. We got to make sure we get those up. That was hilarious.
But what did you want to bring up about like what did you guys think about the fact that
Terry.
Yeah, Terry. Question.
About the stalkers.
Yeah, and give us your insight on the stalkers. Me and Alex ain't never played the game.
Oh, I mean, I didn't really like face too many of them or get this far, man. I was trash at this game. But I gotta say, girl, you kind of are trash with this gun. Like they're like on this box, they're right there. Boom, boom, like get them. Like she was like missing too many close shots for me. I was just like, you're not like I thought you were supposed to be a badass. You were terrible at it. They're right there. They're right there. They're not like going anywhere. They're literally trying to break in that one spot, not moving. Just you can get up to them. Get up. Like they can't get you. They can't bite you through the thing. Get right up to them. Boom.
But if you wait a lot longer, they'll get it open and they can.
Yeah, but they're still like, but look how close she is. It could be like, boom.
Oh no,
boom,
I'm
boom.
agreeing with you. You're saying they can't bite you through the cage, but the one dude's pulling the cage up. So
Yeah,
you know
guess
what?
what?
Shoot him
Boom.
before he's
I'm
in
getting
there
right
with
there at
you.
I'm getting right there at you,
She's
bro.
just watching Ellie get like bit in the head. Like,
She's
her
discovering a weird new kink.
her scalp is like being eaten.
Yeah.
I do think it was hilarious, Terry, that you said that you were trash at the game, but also criticizing this young lady's age.
Hey,
in real life, Terry's got
murdered
great
by
aim.
Fedra dudes. All right, they
Hey,
have
yeah,
their own guns,
I'm not
all right?
mad. I'm not mad at it. I
That's
think it's
the part I
hilarious.
was trash at. That's more so. You
I
gotta
think it
break
was
that
hilarious
up.
and necessary.
I understand that
Your human enemies are way harder than
terrified.
yours.
Does it gotta be?
dudes.
Does it
hold
gotta
on.
be headshots with those guys?
No, if you body shot them enough, but it's like 3 or 4 shots.
Okay.
They're still alive humans. They just have half of their brain eaten by fungi that turns you into a crazy person who
We've all been there.
needs to recreate. Alex, where are you going to go with this?
Nowhere. I mean, like, yeah, I just think that the stalkers are interesting. It's cool that we have like this horde of really smart zombies.
In the game, you can like sense where people are because you're listening for them. And one of the things that's fucked with the stalkers is they move so quietly you can't sense them at all. So you think you're safe, and then all of a sudden it's next to you.
Are they crying like babies?
Yeah, right, that's
make
what I
noise.
thought was kind of creepy. That it
Like,
sounded like she was like, "Oh my god!"
And as I turned the lights on,
Yeah, it's some Michael Jackson
the
noises going on.
Well, your Michael Jackson got a deep voice.
Just sitting there with Dehina.
No, have you ever seen like Smooth Criminal from the Moonwalker video where it's just like it's all quiet and everybody's just like moaning and
hey,
so it's kind of like at the beginning of if these walls by Kendrick Lamar.
It was the invention of television's indistinct chatter.
Yeah,
that's that great
vocalizations.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, guys, let us know what you thought of this episode. Let us know what you think this season so far. What you think? How do you think Ellie and Dina are gonna get out of this crazy ass situation? And also Jesse's there too.
I don't think people are gonna like season 3.
Oh no! I mean, well, apparently a lot of people didn't like Last of Us Part 2, the video game.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah, but that's also because it's 2 female leads and one of them's a lesbian, and people are just shit.
Well, I know Paul from Heavy Spoilers didn't like it as much as
I think it's better than the original.
Yeah, right. I know that's what Alex was saying. It's a lot of controversy out there about this game, or at least people split on how they feel about it. I'm interested to know how y'all feel about it out there, because me and Alex don't know shit about the game. So definitely make sure we are informed. Get us up to speed, because we're not going to buy the game.
Yeah, we should move on.
There's a lot of channels that are going to do that for you. But, you know.
Yo, Laura, tell us why.
Well, you want to read the actual goddamn comment? What do you mean? You just throw it up there and say,
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Hey guys,
come on down.
Hey guys, how are you doing? I really dislike this episode. I don't know what's going on with the scripts. Oh man, Laura is not a fan of this episode.
I would agree that I didn't really like this episode either. It's because they're spending a lot of time on the Dora and Ellie thing, and it's just not really compelling. I don't really care.
I feel the same way, and like I do not like the way we skip so much. It's like that's what I prefer. Like I like all the middle parts. Like I remember the beginning, and then like just might as well just skip towards the end because I was just zoning out for most of this episode.
I do feel like that they are trying to build that camaraderie and that closeness, because like at the end of the day, I think that one of the main themes of the show is how do you find a way to make love persevere throughout this chaotic situation. And we got to see we got to see Ellie build the love with Joel. Now we get to see Ellie build the love with Dina. I'm not hating it. It's not my favorite thing. She can play the guitar. She can play the guitar a little bit less. I'm not buying Dina's backstories. Yeah, that was kind of just like big exposition dump.
Man, that was so bad. You know. Bet you don't know how. I bet you know how my mom died. You heard this story before.
Then
tell it. Why tell it, bitch?
Do you think she was channeling her inner Madam Web for that monologue?
Yes, absolutely. Like, stop talking, bitch. If we know, then we don't. We know, then we don't need you to tell us.
This was the second highest rated of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I still liked it.
It is a big drop off from number one's 9.3. This is a 7.8.
Ooh. Damn.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Go ahead, Alex.
But yeah, let's get into our last topic of the night. So we're just going to quickly discuss the trailer for the HBO series Peacemaker. Season 2 of Peacemaker is right around the corner. Comes out in August.
So excited.
I really want to taste that.
I'm going to have very little to contribute to this conversation because I did not watch the trailer. I don't like trailers. I think they're cool and they're stupid. But I Peacemaker season 1, and I love the fact that he is
described
still,
most of the world. Evil and stupid.
Oh yeah. But what was I saying? Yeah, I do like I enjoyed the first season of Peacemaker, and I'm excited that it's carrying over into the DCU, because it's like James Gunn. The two things that he did for the DCEU were the only good things that they made, or one of the few good things that they made. So I'm just gonna.
This is the only thing they made good.
I'm gonna leave it the conversation up to you guys. Jeff, I'll let you go first. What did you think of the trailer for Peacemaker season 2?
I didn't. So I'm like
Don't
you.
say you didn't watch it.
I like you. I tend to avoid trailers. And then this one came up for in the preview for The Last of Us, and I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm in. I'm gonna watch it."
Yeah, same.
And it got me so excited. I cannot wait. We've got some fun cameos in this trailer, so we're definitely exploring the further DCEU, and also just like what they're doing with our returning characters. I'm very excited.
Cameos in a James Gunn film? How odd.
His wife is hard ass or whatever her name is.
Do you think
really? Man, I didn't know that.
That's very.
Wow.
It's not very like him.
It's not like him.
I'm curious what you think, Bill, because again, I haven't seen the trailer. Do you think that this show is going to face similar hurdles that Daredevil Born Again did with like trying to integrate this show that wasn't necessarily in the same cinematic universe as the comic book universe they're trying to introduce it into, just trying to fit this square peg into this round hole? Do you think it's going to have that same trouble?
It's interesting you asked me that, Alex, because I didn't hear anything you said, because all I was thinking is, do you really want to taste that? Ooh,
that's a great intro,
dude.
Right?
Best intro ever. No, to answer your question, no, I don't think that they're going to do a bad job on this show. Nobody watched the animated what was that, Suicide Squad type thing?
Oh, the Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos.
Yeah,
I actually was going to make a point about that.
Nobody really watched it for real. It wasn't really popular as they probably. No. That's anecdotal. I'm talking about the majority, the peoples. Of course, everybody at the Drunk Banthas channel watched it. NerdsatNite watched it, of course. But yeah, I don't think that they're gonna mess any of this up, because it seemed like last year they had a formula. The things you don't like about it, you're gonna not like about it this season. You know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of cheese on this, like feta cheese, Gouda cheese, cheddar cheese,
blue
cheese. Yeah, man. Gouda. I said Gouda, goat cheese. That's what I meant. Goat cheese. All of it, man. Titty milk cheese, like all of the
titty
cheese.
Milk.
Yeah, everybody knows
cheese.
it.
Titty milk cheese.
That white queso dip cheese.
Well, Peacemaker's got that goat
Blanco.
cheese, I'm talking about that
Blanco.
The greatest of all time cheese, I'm talking about.
Blanco queso. Yeah. Sorry. Terry, you asked about, or you brought up the whole
Commandos of the Creatures
topic. No, the topic of Peacemaker. So how was you feeling and vibing with
the topic of Peacemaker? That was just
somebody else brought it up. God damn it. Don't mess up my segue. Just keep it going. Don't nobody else know that. Jeff went first. Don't nobody else know that.
I said I wanted to talk about tariffs tonight. Okay.
Hey,
he sure did.
And that is a preview of Thursday's Banthas, 7:15 p.m. Pacific time. Every Thursday.
No, I guess I'm going to be positive on it, because my connection for Creature Commandos was that we are like seeing that Rick Flag Sr. is a part of this. So I was kind of just hoping maybe we just see Frankenstein. We get to see a bad bitch. Like, let me just hope for that in real life and see that.
I'm not mad at
that. Hope for that.
Like, come on, like have some hope. Like, that's one thing we could think about. But
do you think
I would say there's cheeses and things that we don't like. My blue cheese is that we're definitely cementing that Guy Gardner is the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Which I know there's like some of the Green Lanterns exist at the same time in the same universe and can be there. There's multiple of them. and that doesn't mean he's the only Green Lantern at this time, but just why do we get him before Jon Stewart? Like, no offense to Nathan Fillion, but you're Guy Gardner though, bro. Like, you should be like, oh no, I accept the role of Guy Gardner, but you can't let me go before Jon Stewart. What are you doing? That's not racist. That's what I think he would say.
I feel like it actually sets it up pretty nice for Jon Stewart, because if he's going to be the Guy Gardner of this universe, then it actually like put some great like weight to him introducing Jon Stewart.
Yeah, Guy actually goes out of commission, and so Guy was the second in the comics, and they retconned it so that like there were two men who were equally as worthy. Well, Hal was closer, so he got the ring. And after Hal is incapacitated, Guy takes over, and after Guy's incapacitated, Jon takes over. I thought it was funny that like back in the day, everyone was like, no, not Ryan Reynolds, Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion looks like Hal fucking Jordan. And then it's like, hey, let's bring in Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner.
And he looks like just like a slim Uncle Fester.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I love Fillion, but he's too old.
It just doesn't look right.
No,
I know the haircut they're doing is from the comic, but on him, it still just doesn't look right. He looks like fucking Uncle Fester.
Well, he's also a ginger in the comic. I don't know why they're like, let's make him
blonde.
blonde.
They made him like really blonde.
Yeah. And Guy's whole thing is that fucking jacket. I don't know why they chose the wrong jacket in this. It's fucking infuriating.
I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. I'm excited. I'm still gonna, Oh, another thing I gotta pose to you guys. Do y'all think they're gonna change the theme song? Will they be one of those shows that likes to change theme songs, or will they keep it going?
I hope they do. Just because I would love another dance
montage. Yeah. They got to add new people into the dance.
I am team. I hope they do. Banthas, y'all are muted, by the way.
It's kind of interesting that they have.
Who are you, Jeff?
Look out! They're still
talking. It's Isabel Marcel, and I do think that it's they're playing with some multiversal stuff or whatever. Like
They
there's a
definitely
multiversal portal, so it could be like these characters are like.
Yeah, so who was all in this room? Like that's like the only person I really recognized. Was.
So she's got an outfit that's similar to Guy.
Hold on. Okay. I was trying to say this. I've been trying to say this for a minute. I think that Guy Gardner is gonna die, and that's why that's when they're gonna be able to bring in Jon.
And so in the comics, when Hal dies, he becomes the Spectre. I think they might do that with Nathan. But I mean, like, yeah, look, that's Guy's outfit in the comics. It's a callback to his Michigan State days. That's why he wears.
Can you bring
that.
up the
So
Nine? Can you bring up the what you call it?
The what's that?
Hold on. Can you bring up the picture that you just had? And so
the video?
we can kind of get a side by side.
Oh
Yeah.
Right here. Or like this.
Yeah.
Looks like he's kind of got it similar, but like missing the chest piece.
It's missing the flared out.
He also is fat.
Bells.
He's also definitely chubby.
Feel like it's a little bit different than what they have it in the Superman trailer as well. Like with the Superman trailer, it's a bit more green. So I wonder if this is like a different alternate universe where everybody's just kind of like assholes.
No, I think it's
no. Guy's an asshole in the comic.
But like everyone kind of like matches.
This is definitely the same universe because we have the same people. They've used the same storyline from the other movies that James Gunn has done. So this is definitely in the same universe. It just they just have zero budget for this show. Like this is a very low budget television show. Even though they have these big characters from from that
You
from
think this
this
is some
universe.
bullshit?
It is. You can go look
I
it up.
think
Go look up the
There's multiversal shit going on in the show.
Where?
Yeah, at the end.
Oh yeah, towards the end of the trailer.
Right
where?
At the end of this.
No, that's not multiverse shit. That's they fired all those guys, and that was before they were on Warner Brothers. That was before.
No, like he's literally entering a different universe here.
Yeah, that's the house that he enters in the DC
It's a
universe.
different
That
universe.
is the
That's
mul-
why
that's the multiverse.
there's
Yeah.
two fucking.
Why
there's
are
two
all the people
peacemakers.
from the? Why are
There's
all
two-
the people?
there's
why
two
are all the
peacemakers.
people from the same episode from the last season in this? Then
Why are there two peacemakers?
why are they the same people who saved the world? Like, what are they? I mean, I saw the trailer.
Because
I mean,
it's his team. He
are we
just wants
talking
to
about
back
what
in.
actually happened in the trailer or no?
Yeah,
Because
that's in the
Yeah,
trailer.
we're talking about the two. Like
This
how-
is the end of the trailer.
That's multiversal.
Yeah, but
Multiversal.
But that's still not. That still doesn't make these guys the different universe. Like that guy with the helmet. That's our peacemaker. Meaning the universe.
No, it's
okay.
We
never
don't
mind.
know. We actually
We
don't
don't
know that though.
Okay.
We really don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I was imagining it was the peacemaker who was walking into the thing.
Well,
he was like exploring
that's
the
what I thought.
hallway of universe, though, because it looked like a bunch of hallways with a bunch of doors.
By the way, did anyone catch the?
See, look, it's a bunch of
There
it's
is
doors.
a connection with this show and an earlier show we covered today.
Yeah,
K2SO8.
Oh, it's Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk. So when they were doing the rehearsals for the opening theme song, John Cena was previously engaged somewhere else. So for all of the rehearsals, Alan Tudyk stood in as Peacemaker.
That's fucking weird.
His wife was the choreographer.
I was about to say, don't we know that fact? And I was like, yeah, because his wife was the choreographer on the show.
No cameos. I mean, cameos.
Why you would think they would do a cameo with him? But that's probably if you say it's a cheap show, Nathan Fillion, they're probably like, hey Nathan, do you want to do a cameo? And Nathan was like, y'all can't pay me.
No, I think James Gunn was like
passion project.
I think James
like,
Gunn
I
was
don't
like,
wanna
hey
do
bestie. Come
Yeah,
on
that's
over.
yeah. He did it for free. I guarantee it. He did this right here for free,
Yeah, they're such good friends.
or maybe not free, but not extra. Because I guarantee you, he's on a contract in which he's gonna be in X amount of projects, and like just how Disney does it. Because that's what James Gunn is doing. He's taking the Disney format that he was a part of for almost 20 years and bringing it to the DC universe.
Yeah.
Do you think that this means
Say
that we
let
can
him
get
run with
more Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn in the future in the DCU?
She costs a lot of money.
You hope?
I'm asking you guys because like I haven't seen.
I
the
think
trailer.
so, absolutely, because she's
Absolutely
not
not.
going to do it. Like she would make time to do it, because the reason it wouldn't happen is money and schedule. Like we just heard, Tony Gilroy said it in an interview. Like it's money and time. So there's a lot of reasons it wouldn't happen. And unfortunately, there's in these situations, there are more reasons for them not to do it than it is for them to do it. But I think that she would say yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
how
Kaylee
willingly
Cuoco.
are they up to like just
Kaylee
give
Cuoco,
off the movie
Harley Quinn.
itself to like?
I
pay?
can't hear you. What you saying?
Oh, I was saying, how willingly do you think they're just able to give like points off the movie themselves, just to be like, hey, we can't pay you right now, but like pay you afterwards with how much money the movie makes.
Yeah, but that's all determines on how much they have to give you, though. You know what I'm saying? Like the studio determines how much money they're going to spend based on how many theaters they're going to be able to put it out in, or how many channels, or how many streaming servers, based on how many subscribers. So it's because nothing's about ratings anymore. It's about how many people are watching or signing up during the time period in which the show is on. That's how HBO did it the entire time.
We would have
Game of Thrones was on.
We would have a
that's
way
why
better barometer for what's going on when they have an actual like Batman. We don't know who's going to be Batman. So like, figuring out.
We know it's true that Matt Reeves stepped down.
Just watch. It's going to be Pedro Pascal.
Hold on, man. Why don't I mean? I don't understand what we're talking about with Batman, though.
How
would
brought
they
up Batman.
introduce
That
them?
made me think about that. You know, the Batman. They're saying Matt Reeves stepped back from directing.
I saw a headline about that. I'm not sure how valid that is, but I do see like what you're talking about. How like, you know, Batman is sort of like the tentpole character for DC, and he's kind of like the most visible character for DC, like in the past, like, you know, 15 years in cinema. But it's cool that I think it's interesting that they're deciding to prop up Superman in this new iteration. Like first,
You
like,
hate Superman.
I mean, yeah, I don't like Superman.
You
but
have a video saying you hate Superman.
You're a good man.
All I'm saying is that, like, even if you have Superman,
also hate Superman.
I do not think that you would be able to introduce Harley Quinn without locking down a Batman first.
They already did it. They already locked. We just explained. We just talked about that. Margot Robbie is gonna do it. So they already did lock down.
I just don't know if she's gonna do it. I just don't know.
Well, you just said you said hell yeah, she's gonna be in it.
No, I said I don't. I said absolutely not.
Well, like I said, she's gonna be. I mean, she's already Harley Quinn. They're gonna she's gonna do it. She's not gonna do it for a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to demand that they pay her a lot of money. She likes working with James Gunn.
You said they would have to give her a lot of money.
No, I said that the reason that sometimes cameos or return characters or legacy characters aren't able to return are, in fact, those two reasons and multitudes of other reasons. So it could be that she doesn't come back, but I think that she is going to come back because she's not gonna do it. I don't think the money is gonna get in the way. Hold on. I think that she's gonna do it because I don't think that the money is gonna get in the way, and I think that she likes working with James Gunn, and that's one of the things that allows legacy characters to come back, regardless if it's gonna be a little bit of money or, you know what I'm saying, or it's gonna make a lot of money. Like,
so would that go for the rest of the Suicide Squad?
It'll go for anybody else.
Idris Elba and
yes.
Yeah, I assume everything.
It would go
for is canon.
It would go for every one of them. If a cameo is going to happen, yes, I don't think that it would happen unless those factors are in place. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that they would have to pay. They might have to pay Idris more than they would pay Margot. I don't, that's how these things work. That's all I'm saying.
I would say cameo, yeah, possibly, right?
That's what I mean.
When it's saying like you are the Harley Quinn, that's a bit different.
From Darkest Night.
What I wanted to say while you were saying, I was like, I am also team. We're having a good time. Let's keep doing this. They are team new Adam Sandler movies where if Adam Sandler's doing something, he calls up the same fucking people and they're all about it. And I feel like that's what James Gunn has a reputation of doing with all his actors, that, he gives them a fun character. It looks like they're hooked on it and will probably take the substantial pay cut for it. Just do it.
They're iconic characters. You know what I'm saying? That's why Idris Elba is in a Suicide Squad movie. Like, if I told you that 10 years ago, you'd probably be like, I don't know. I don't know if that will work or not. And boom, it works. I
feel like people want to be these characters. Like, I feel like Margot Robbie should be like, I'll be damned if another bitch is going to be a Harley fucking Quinn.
I agree with that.
And you're gonna be a toy. If you do these movies, you get
and see, another thing I was thinking about when I love that. Like that points thing, I was like, wouldn't they just be able to pay her in merchandise? Like if they didn't have that much money, they'd be like, hey, I'm just gonna give you merchandise percentages.
Definitely, that's in contract.
Like I feel like with the DC thing, I was like, yeah, you probably don't make that much money like off top, but like I feel like that's like a check that keeps coming in if they keep making these.
Absolutely a check that actors get if they have a situation where they're gonna get some toys. They do give them a percentage of that because it's their likeness. It's literally who they are. It just in makeup and
that's me portraying this character that this toy is. Like that's me.
Well, that raises another question then. How long do you think He does it.
Oh,
John Cena. How long do you think John Cena is going to do this then?
I feel like until he dies, until you stop telling them stuff.
I think exactly.
I'm tired of seeing you, John Cena, as Peacemaker. I think he loves this motherfucker.
He's already taking a pay cut doing this show.
Yeah, they gave him a bit part in a movie. Like, people usually don't go from movies to doing TV. That's kind of a killer, you know. I think maybe it's gotten better nowadays, but it's still bad. But for him to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a movie star, and then for him to say nope, TV. But for that one character, yeah, he loves that character.
Yeah, I don't think he would go to TV if it wasn't this. And premium television has made, going to television a lot easier for big time movie stars. But yeah, I agree. I think he would keep doing it if he, if he has the opportunity to, because nothing saying the studio doesn't get tired of Peacemaker. He's a kind of a throwaway character as far as everything goes. That's why he was a Suicide Squad, right? Like, we could just not deal with him.
And then I guess the overarching question is like, because we know because we know Isabel is going to be in Superman, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then we know the Green Lantern, he's going to be in Superman. Do you think that Peacemaker has a chance to show up in Superman as well?
Maybe a post-credit scene.
Maybe a post-credit scene, something like that.
Probably a mention, maybe.
I just don't see Peacemaker being in the Superman.
I would see him in.
Hell no.
Yeah.
It's more likely that they have Superman cameo in this.
Yeah.
Then see Peacemaker. Then we even see Peacemaker ever again.
I definitely would see Superman cameo in this just so we could build up hype for Superman.
Yeah, last season they had
this
a
comes
cameo
out after
of
Superman.
Last year they had the cameo of Does it? I thought it comes out like
August.
Yeah.
This comes out in August.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that Superman was coming out that soon. Check out the Drunk Banthas, or not the Drunk Banthas, but check out the Nerds at Night round table for that discussion of Superman, because that will be coming. Usually they drop on a Wednesday after the movie has come out. Check it out.
I didn't see it.
Hadn't seen it.
I didn't see it.
He will. That's a preview. That's a preview of the round table with Jeff. I'm sorry, Terry. What'd you say?
Oh, I was gonna agree with Alex about Superman and not liking him, but I was saying I'm glad they're doing Superman first, just so they can get him out of the way and just do all the other.
No, I think the Superman movie is going to be pretty good.
Yeah. I do think this one looks good so far. I agree.
Okay, hold on, Jeff. You agree with what?
I also hate Superman, but I allow myself for movies to watch the first trailer, and based on that Superman trailer, I was like, fuck, I want to see this movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
You
else
like
either.
Superman, so I'm going to get your opinion, because we all hate Superman. So how you going?
I mean, there's so many ways to tell Superman, and I don't think this is going to be the overpowered Superman that we have seen in the day, that he like solves all problems right away. I think he's going to be a bit weak. Year one Superman type of deal going on here. But
it's just always stupid.
When it comes out, it's gotta be the start of like what people consider the new DCU, I don't know what they're calling it. So he can't just be all powerful, be the end all be all right away. And I think that's what makes it work with James Gunn's ensemble type of storytelling that we've seen in like the Guardians of the Galaxies and everything like that, and the Suicide Squad. So I think that's why we're seeing all of these characters right now, because Superman is going to be weaker than what we know him to become later on.
Right. Yeah,
This nigga got some $1 million words, don't
I didn't use $1 million words.
I'm doing it again like everybody's
Ingenuous.
Let's get everybody's final thoughts on the trailer before we get out of here. Any final thoughts, T, that you have on the Peacemaker trailer and like the DCU to come?
Like I said, since they're showing that Rick Flag Sr. is the kind of antagonist, I definitely want to see if they're gonna get some actors to portray a fine ass Frankenstein lady. That'd be really tight. So let's see if that happens. Fingers crossed.
Fingers and toes crossed. Jeff, what about you? Any thoughts on the trailer and the DCU moving forward?
The trailer for Peacemaker, I am crazy excited for. When they gave James Gunn the reins for the DCEU, I was a little like, I don't need just another MCU, and I was really worried about that. I like what he's done with excuse me. I like what he's done with the Suicide Squad. I love what he's done with Peacemaker. And after seeing that Superman trailer, I'm willing to give him a chance.
9, before we get your okay, never mind. Oh, because I was about to say, I thought that Jeff was doing the classic 90s, sitting with your chair backwards. I thought that's what he was doing, but he was leaning on the lantern.
He's got all the things.
So I'm sorry to have interrupted. I apologize. I'm sorry to have interrupted because
how did Jeff get to number 1 here? He's got the lantern. He's got the. he's like.
It's because I moved, so I'm next to all my comics.
Yeah,
Your
first
set
of all,
is
you
really nice
always
right
had a treasure chest, imaginary. I mean, not imaginary. A real
I've also
treasure
got
chest you go through.
a Gremlins poster and a Lego ship in a bottle.
Gremlins future doesn't hold up most likely.
Nite,
like a
what
pretty cool
about
guy.
you? Final thoughts on the trailer and the DCU.
Do you wanna really taste it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you were tapping me? Oh, my bad.
I wasn't happy. I was just.
Oh, you actually just bought me trying to get to it. I was like, damn, nigga, I don't see it yet.
But Bill, any final thoughts on the trailer and the DCU moving forward? You got faith in Jeff? I mean, James.
I
mean,
I do.
James Gunn.
James Gunn, yeah.
Jeff James, Jesse. I do have faith, my friend. Videos explain better than what than
I feel like Bill would be Mr. Terrific. Who else would everybody be?
I'm gonna make anonymous ice calls to their house.
Mr. President, thanks.
And that's a good place to end it before we get to the 3-hour mark. So before we get out of here, T, do you want to tell the people where they can find you on the interwebs?
Definitely find me at tpins.com or go to the Instagram at tpins. Oh, get you some of these awesome pins right here. And if you happen to be in Vegas on the 20th to 22nd at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center for a licensing expo, come holler at me. Come get some pins made, or give me your rights to make pins. Yeah, let's make this. Hey, the tariffs are down. Come on,
sacrifice your civil rights and give him and get some pins. Get your weight up.
Jesse, what about you? Where can the people find you on the interwebs?
Oh, I thank you for asking. You can always try and Skype me. Don Cheadle's driveway, a little Dicky too. Oh, that's how I turn on the. You can't see it, but it turns on a little bit.
It's the battery.
I also got a yellow one. Yeah.
Oh shit!
You coward.
Yeah.
Scared me.
Evil.
You can always try and Skype me, Don Cheadle's driveway at littleDicky2.com. It's because of the
hackers.
You can try and find Jeff Madel on Facebook at MadelJeff on Instagram. But as usual, the easiest way to find me is just be here on a Monday night.
Here.
What about you, Nine? Where can the people find you on the interwebs?
Well, you can find me at 9NerdYards. That's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, X, Twitter is what we old heads call it. These unks call it. We have 66 people watching right now. So if you hit that subscribe button, just do it.
Wonderful, wonderful. What about you, Bill? Where can people find you on the interwebs?
Man, let me tell you something, Alex. It ain't no easier way to find me than to go in on the Nerds at Night channel, the Drunk Banthas channel, on every Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be talking about the Bantha Bun show, of course. You know what I'm saying? Your favorite TV hosts, favorite TV hosts. Your favorite YouTubers, favorite YouTubers. And your favorite cousin's favorite cousin. It's just me. That's me. That's all of those people are me. So come on, hang out. Make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button right now. And I guarantee you won't miss out.
Yes, thank you for listening to the Drunk Banthas podcast. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific time, but don't forget to don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get updates on new videos. Check us out on Twitter, IG, TikTok, Letterboxd, likewise, all the internet things at the Drunk Banthas.
All of them.
Until next time, stay safe, my little stalkers.
Drink responsibly.
And may the force be with you.